What's up, guys? Welcome back to Pokemon Gotta Watch Them All, the podcast where we sit around a nice rectangular table with a red tablecloth and talk about Pokemon movies, and we rank them and we talk about all kinds of fun stuff.
And we never start it how we should.
We never start how we should. And I always forget that I should introduce my guests. So let's go down the line real quick. I'm trying to keep this under 2 hours and 50 minutes today, okay? So, Dante.
Hey everyone, I'm Shuri. I'm still here at this table.
For now.
For now.
Canis.
Hello, I'm Dwarven_Lion.
Yes. He looked at me like, can I say my tag?
Can I say my self-promotion in this podcast?
Christopher.
This early?
Hello.
Perfect. Short and sweet. Jonathan.
So I'm very confused with the way you said hello, because it's like, were you trying to do an accent? Because like that sounded very like you tried doing an accent.
This is John. John insults Chris.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's on brand.
Welcome. I started out with the rules that I didn't mean to. But...
John's like, it's not my podcast, but if it was, I'd have you do that shit over. Just saying. All right, but with all those introductions out of the way, we watched PokemonRanger and the Temple of the Sea this week.
We sure did.
We sure did.
This is the second time I've immediately messaged the chat after, and I've been like, wow, that's a movie.
Yeah.
So I'll say this, if I had to describe it, if this was a D&D role, this was like a 4.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. So when we showed up, you were filming, you weren't here yet, and the three of us were kind of talking, Kenai, Chris, and I. And you guys were like, I know where it goes on the list, and you agreed. And I'm like, interesting. Because, and I'll mention it later, when I finished the movie, I'm like, this goes right here. And you're like, oh.
So I talked with that when I got here. We did we agree on the
Yeah,
same,
we did. Yeah.
We agreed on where the movie belongs.
Yeah, so based on what the three of you think, not having heard where you think it places indefinitely, I placed it much, well, you implied where you think it belongs without saying directly where it belongs. I was like, I think it's higher than that, which is interesting. And I think it's because I'm such a sucker for water Pokemon.
You get to see a lot of them.
Yeah, this movie just made me really happy the whole time. But I think, first impressions, I think it's a really good movie that has a lot of just unnecessary exposition that really drags out. Like, this is an hour and 45-minute movie, and it feels like it.
You can cut at least 50% of the plot.
It could have been like a
movie.
50-minute movie.
Yeah.
It could have been like a solid hour.
Yeah, because we talked about, we compared a lot to Jirachi Wishmaker. Cause
It looks good. You can't argue.
Oh, 100%. It's beautiful.
It's good.
But it's definitely Jirachi Wishmaker with May instead of Max. And I think the comparison we made was like the RV scene in Jirachi Wishmaker, where it's like 4 days spanned over 5 minutes, was like 4 times longer in this movie, which added that extra probably 20 minutes, which was...
Well, the movie before there was the Lucario one, right?
Lucario was awesome, yeah.
So I imagine Lucario did pretty good, and they got a budget, and then that's why this movie ended up being longer, and having so much, not filler, but like just...
Yeah, I'll call filler.
Or just
A lot of filler.
flop back and forth in between like good and
It's kind of weird that you can sense, because didn't Jirachi come after Heroes? And that was the movie. That was the movie where I said this movie feels like it did not have a budget.
Yeah, and it didn't. Because the previous one
because
did
the
so bad.
previous movie didn't do as well.
Yeah.
What a life. Good thing next movie got a bigger budget.
So if
Can you imagine being the director of that movie, and you're the reason that the next movie went straight?
So like you don't get a budget and you make a great movie.
Yeah.
And then you get a budget and you're like, let's fuck it up.
Let's ruin it. Let's
it's
fuck it up
because
for the
with
next guy.
budget. I think it's because with the budget, you do the whole thing. We're like, oh, we're gonna go big, and like, here's the plot, and you try to go big.
I think when you get a budget, you kind of get a little complacent when
Yeah.
it comes to Pokemon movies. More or less.
It's probably easier to keep it simple though. But without that, let's move on to the movie. So now I guess
Before that, real
another
quick,
thing,
who picks first today?
You do.
You do.
I do.
Yes. Why, you trying to steal my guy?
No, I don't even know.
I swear to God.
Chris
Okay,
got 2 free
Manaphy?
ones last
Huh?
time.
You're picking
I'm not telling you who I'm picking.
Okay, I'm not picking.
But if you take my guy,
Mine's not a water type. I'll just put that on.
okay, cool. We're good. We're golden. I was gonna say I would cancel this fucking podcast.
Do we have to pick a water type? Can we
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's just him saying he's not picking a water type means that mine is safe.
Yeah, and then it goes that way.
Yeah.
That's all I was asking.
Which means I go second. So I'm
You
saying,
made it very obvious on camera.
all right, well I go before you. So it doesn't matter if you
I
take.
don't know if I'm picking a water type.
You made it very obvious on camera who you were picking.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So.
I'm pretty sure I made it pretty obvious in other episodes who I was picking.
He said it at least.
Yeah.
I know of at least 2 other times. I think
Where I
there's
said
a
it.
third one where
Probably.
he came right out. I was like, I'm doing this.
I was like, I was looking at next. I picked first next week, and totally skipping ahead. Next week's Darkrai, so I'm like, let's go. I got a fucking potluck, baby. It's gonna be lit. But we're not at Darkrai. We're on Manaphy. Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea. Fun fact, which I don't think is accurate, but we kind of discussed a little bit. Apparently, this is the first movie without a Psychic-type main character. And I mentioned that technically 3 didn't, because Entei,
Unknown.
but then, I said unknown. I'm like, main character is... I don't know how that transitions.
It was a
that
main
might-
antagonistic force.
Yeah, I guess.
They said
I
everything
feel
in
like-
motion.
I feel like we said the same thing when we did 3. We were like, this is the first non-psychic type movie. And then now we say it again.
It still feels.
It's the
it
first one with
feels-
a non-psychic legendary. That's what it is.
Okay,
It still
so
feels like a
paraphrase.
psychic type because even if you treat Entei as the legendary, even though it's not real, it still talks, so it makes you feel
Yeah.
like it has psychic type powers.
Also,
So
just for
consistent.
safety, I was taking a piss earlier and I looked up.
Yeah.
I went back for I had my phone, so I was like, I know unknowns weren't legendaries because I saw your notes and you wrote that. But I was like, just to make sure, because unknowns only ever appear with legendaries.
Right.
So I was like, are unknown legendaries? They're just rare as shit.
They
But-
felt like legendaries as a kid because they were in that movie like it's such a
Yeah.
force. And the movie was named after them, so it's just
And then there's
There's
like
just so many.
There's like
Yeah.
26 of them that you can catch in the game.
28 now.
28?
Question mark and
Question mark and
exclamation point.
exclamation point.
Oh.
See, I thought as a kid, if you caught all the different letters and all that, I
You could
thought
make
it
soup.
unlocked something special.
No.
You
So I
unlock
guys, Chris
the
sat
waste
there
of
just
time.
throwing Pokeballs. I finally got them all.
I can't find
Dude,
one.
it wasn't
No.
just me.
I
went
know.
on.
I
There were
felt-
so many
I
other
know
people.
people
I
that
felt,
say
the,
that.
I felt the
shit.
same way. I felt the same way.
And everyone's like, oh, like if you do this, you get something special. Nope, you just unlock the waste of time.
Perfect. We talked about 3. That's it. No more 3 talk today.
That's all you need to know about
no
this
more.
movie.
No more Pokemon 3.
Jumanji.
Welcome to the world of Pokemon. Honestly, intro, typical kind of thing. The only really interesting thing in the intro was that there was Rayquaza being like fucking chased
3D.
after.
Where's
by
that
rockets.
movie?
Yeah.
Because it's Attila and Hun
I get it.
who are the two. So when you see Rayquaza like bundled up, being electrocuted,
Yeah.
the 2 Team Rocket members are Attila and Hun from Pokemon Chronicles, which is
Oh.
with Raikou.
Yeah.
Which is not a movie; it's a short, like a series. But yeah, they're the other Team Rocket
You
members.
also
Like
see
Butch Cassidy.
Brandon and Metagross lady from Deoxys.
Yeah,
Yeah, good for Brandon.
But she doesn't have Metagross. She has Tyranitar.
Yeah,
Good for, good,
she's a Metagross trainer.
Stupid.
good for Brendan
Probably
and
used her
Brandon,
laptop.
right? Not Brandon.
She did.
good for him for being in 2 starts of the movie.
I know.
But yeah, after we meet the bad guys, like, hey, there's bad people out there. But that's why we have the Pokemon Rangers. Introduce Solana, who we see for 13 seconds, who's the baddest baddie of Pokemon Rangers. This movie should have been about her, but I'll digress. Anyway, and she's got a cool little kickboxing Plusle there who's just like punching the air. Really cute.
Yeah, because all the water types are putting out a fire, and Plusle's like,
Yes.
yeah, we fit boxing. Let's go.
I think if John had picked Plusle for this movie and not the
Yeah.
last one, probably would have won. But
He did a lot more in this
He's
one.
like shadow boxing the whole
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, a few little more set pieces, and it's like, oh boy, this movie's about Ash, not Solana. That's all right.
Whoopee.
We get
It
a
was
nice
a weird transition.
Yeah. We got a little establishing shot underwater. We have this weird floating mysterious egg. We don't know what this thing is.
The
It's-
whole like Pokemon swimming by each other, transitioning into another. I was like, this is cool. I like this. And then it's just like egg, and it's just yeah. I'm like, okay, cool.
But we get the setup of like, this egg is gonna be important, but we don't know what yet. And as this thing's kind of floating through the water, these really just unsettling CG helicopters come out, and we see like the side of a dude's head, and
I forgot about the metallic thunk from the Mantine. It's like following the egg. It's like Mantine. Just fucking collides.
I read that and it's a CG helicopter and I was like, interesting couch no helicopter. CG, I get it now. You didn't put the fucking eyes.
The
I was
brand.
like, what is
Sorry.
How are they gonna do with this?
you know, CG.
No,
You bought a helicopter.
just the floating icon.
What happens
of a
is
gnome
when it's
head.
sitting still, it's just like a little dome with a glass window and a hat. And then when he gets inside of it, he starts it up. The propeller comes out the back, and the hat collapses into propeller
I'm
blades.
sorry.
And
Sorry,
yeah.
Daddy. I don't know why I started. I'm so sorry.
I'm here. I'm like, are we talking about Meet the Robinsons? What's that?
Talking about the gnome helicopter, Danny.
the gnome copter.
Yeah.
The
To
Nomocopter.
the Nomocopter.
Anyway, they get the egg, and they're like, I'm gonna take this egg, I'm gonna put, and they just get a big fucking submarine, because they really need the overkill for this egg. Just be like, got it, put it away. They have a nice little like team meeting, and I put Stickybeard, because at this point we didn't get his name. But we meet Captain Stickybeard and his Chatot, who is like one of the most forgettable Pokemon in existence.
He's probably the only one who willingly caught one of those that was not part of the sibling or Nuzlocke.
Yeah.
The only reason people caught it in Gen 4? It's Gen 4 Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Was so that they could record it on the mic and be like,
You fucking suck! With chatter. So yeah, they capture the egg. Mr. Pirate's like, cool, I'm here. And then we get our first. There's 2 types of men in this world.
The first one.
Those who have unlimited desires and those who do not.
So when I heard that, I was like, damn, that's really deep for a Pokemon thing. And then I sat there eating my fucking lunch, and I was like, no, it's not. I was like, this motherfucker just said, oh, there's people that are right-handed and left-handed.
And those who are not.
Yeah.
And I'm right-handed.
And I'm neither.
So yeah, Mr. Pirate Man, who we learn later is the Phantom, so I'll go with that. So the Phantom goes into his nice little assembly room and gets the egg in this capsule. And he's like, now that I have this, I can finally get the C crown. But unfortunately, our friendly neighborhood blonde grunt says, Sark. Sorry, guy? Psych guy? He fucks up the plans.
That was right. he said Sark.
Sark. He's like, I'm Jackie. Sark, I'm going to take your egg. He's like, yo, you're in this for selfish desires. I'm going to take it away. And then we get this cool chase scene where he parkours through the submarine.
This is the most extra fucking man I've ever met. There are so many times where they're just not even going for him and he just walk around. Fucking runs sideways on the wall. He steps on pots and shit to flip them on their head.
Listen.
And they're just...
Yeah, they're just like, oh, fuck, a pot. Oh!
He stopped becoming the hero after this scene.
Yeah.
Because then it all became about Ash, the chosen one. So we don't...
This is why I said this guy is in the wrong damn movie.
This is how they draw attention, is they're super cool mega spy opening.
Yeah.
Because every time he's on screen, he's doing something cool, and it's just okay.
He is, and Jackie's a badass, and this made me want to go back and play all the Pokemon Ranger games. But they have a weird, I put escalator, because it's an escalator ladder he goes up. And
oh my god, he killed those guys,
yeah,
right?
He gets to the
he
top.
Just fucking kicks a metal bar into a V, and these guys are just you can hear their spines
they
breaking.
scrunch through the metal.
Yeah, the one dude just falls, and that's 30 feet, right?
You do not see this man move after he comes up and falls. You don't see him move.
And then there's the other guy that's just getting fucking brushed up. Oh god, awful.
So this guy, he's running through the corridors like, hey, it's me. He calls into whatever Pokemon Ranger organization we have. He's like, it's Jack Walker. I got the EOP. The fucking what? And she said something you mean the this? He's like, no, the egg of the prince, stupid. She's like, you're cute. They're totally fucking
it's
on the side, by the way.
Events of the press or something like that.
No, egg of the prince. She's like, you can't just make up acronyms, Jackie.
But you know what though? That's fine. She was cute as hell. She had 2 different colored eyes.
Oh yeah.
And then she's gone.
And then she's
She appears one more time in the movie.
She's just the old man from fucking Lucario.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm here. Anyway, so Jack gets to the top of the ship. He's got the egg. He gets cut off by all the pirate men, and then Mr. Phantom's like, "You can't fight me. I'm a pirate," and sends out his 2 bug-type Pokemon. Which
totally represent.
See, this is where I thought they were going to take the Team Aqua approach, but they don't.
Which they totally look like Team Aqua.
Pirates, they have insects.
Because when I think pirates, I think bugs.
I think Pinsir and Parasect, not Sharpedo.
Yeah.
Fucking, oh my god.
Why did they not give these guys water type Pokemon?
It's too easy.
We forgot he has another, I don't know the meaning of the word, but he's talking to the lady.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, the lady says something. He's like, she's like, you better watch out or you're gonna fail. He's like, failure? I don't know the meaning of the word. And she's like, I'll let you borrow my dictionary.
Yeah.
And then this is a comment I said I had to make because it confuses me. Because homeboy, the pirate, he's like, I'll let you borrow my dictionary. And he says it in a way, he's like, yeah, I heard her. I was like, you were 3 feet below her, like fucking 3 stories. What?
Yeah, because I had mentioned to Chris, we were talking about on Discord, and I was like, I remember there's 2 type of people, and I don't know the meaning of being repeat jokes throughout the entire thing. And there's 2 types of people I don't know the meaning, it's really just a 1-2 off thing. So I was like, I remember that happening more, but I digress.
The pincer.
He tries.
That pincer was going to cleave that man in half. If
That
he did
pincer-
not be extra and backflip.
That Pinsir knew Hyper Beam.
I
Come on.
I just remember hearing he's like, oh, my Pokemon will stop you, and then I just remember capture top, go! And I was like, whoa! Infinitely louder audio than the rest of the movie.
So yeah, Jack discovers a Mantine. He's like, I gotta get out of here. Uses Pokemon Ranger. It's a capture styler. Throws it at the Mantine, catches it, does his cool little gymnastics thing. Now it can escape. Hops on it, dives underwater, comes back up. Confuse Ray.
My favorite part of the movie, in between when he comes back up when he dives, Pinsir. I'm just gonna stand up for it because he goes. And just hyper beams at the water. He just does a little like angry dance.
I'm really excited to see how that sounds on the microphone.
Kid spiked over here. I got a warning.
Can I bring up? I was like, why is anybody using Pokeballs if this thing is just like, zoop? It's like,
Because,
caught it.
because the Pokemon Rangers are so if anyone has to play the Pokemon Ranger games, the Rangers don't capture. They get one
I
like
know
assisted
that they
Pokemon.
don't.
Yeah.
But in the
So they
next
typically,
breath,
yeah, they get one like partner Pokemon. It's like Solana in the beginning has Plusle, and Jackie doesn't really have one. Which
it's not like he stood there and was like,
Yeah, so you catch that Pokemon for
he
so
just did it
long
once. Like,
to help you with the task, and then once you're
just
done with
really
the task,
good.
you let it go. Because it's like, thank
Jack
you for helping, goodbye.
Oh, so Ash must be a ranger because he does that. Primate corals.
Well, after this movie, he really wanted to be one. He's like, I want to be like Jackie.
When I grow up,
he knew
when
about him.
that is.
Yeah.
He was like,
Greninja.
oh, you're a Pokemon
Did it
Ranger.
with Greninja. Did it with...
What a dumbass choice. You could have been like, yo, fuck off, Zygarde. I don't care what you think.
Fucking
See, which is why I was really confused when they gave Greninja an Ash form, because I'm like, he's just gonna let this guy go.
Yeah, they never
He's gonna
did
be
that again.
irrelevant.
they
Anyway.
needed to sell merchandise, okay?
Yeah, Pokemon Ranger. It's like, cool, that's a Ranger, bye. Title card, movie thing, cool setting, one animation, cool. Now we meet Ash and the gang who are walking through some scorching heat. They go to drink some water, it's all dried up. May gets pissy when it's not even Max's fault. Whole thing happens.
I made the joke on my notes. It was like, when it showed that backed up like pan, it was just showed the wasteland. I was like, oh damn, it's Breath of the Wild. It's empty as
But yeah, here as they start to talk, it's like the first movie we have with the recast voice actors, so everybody sounds really weird and it's like off-putting. We're coming from Deoxys to this, like no one sounds right. But if you watch Battle Frontier, you're probably used to the voices. But I think they recast then. After are they the same since Frontier?
I have no idea.
Okay, I was
I didn't.
it might be. Let us know in the comments.
I
I'm
just
sure.
know they all shared a nice hearty carton of fucking menthols one day.
That's right, it's me, Ash Ketchum.
Kinda.
I fucking died like 7 times.
I choose you, Pikachu. And
She comes out like this. Pika.
Pika-Pee.
The ball opens up, smoke just comes out.
I'm really thirsty.
Everybody in the audience like,
I'm May, by the way. But yeah, Ash notices like this big ass bubble over the hill, so they go running towards it. And they meet this nice young lady who's dancing with Pokemon. They have a Meditite and a Medicham, like using Psychic to Politoed, who won't stop fucking clapping. Great little guy.
also revoiced.
Also revoiced.
I was happy with this one.
He was smoking.
I was happy with it.
He was not smoking. He actually got hired.
Did he?
Yep. Because
Did
the
he
one
have
the one in Heroes was Politoed. This one's Politoed.
Probably just because he's not fucking
they recast him.
Misty's or whatever. They recast that. You gotta get rid of the Politoed.
Different Politoed. Yeah, I'm better with it than Squirtle's recast.
Yeah, the Meditite Medicham are like, oh, you're cute. They make a little Pikachu bubble, say hi, welcome to, nice to meet you. And they meet Elizabeth, who's like this important family circus. She's the lead act. And Brock's like going crazy over her. I don't know how
My
old.
blue book.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I love you, you're my favorite. Max does the ear pull thing that everybody loves.
Wasn't even clever this time. He just goes, I got your ear and now I'm taking you. And I was like, cool. Great joke, buddy.
Yeah, she's a part of the Marina Underwater Pokemon show. She's a star. They kind of just jab her for a bit, like, this is your family. May makes a compliment about the mom. She's like, yo,
Naked body?
you could be her sister. Oh, keep going. I mean it. Brr! And just like knocks me to the fucking floor. And it's like, all right,
Like you got
I see. But yeah, so like, you guys thirsty? Come on. Oh, actually, before we get that, Chris and I also talked on Discord a little bit. There's a weird thing with Pokemon and drinking water.
Because I was very confused, because I was like, so they're complaining about not having water.
It's hot. We have nothing to drink.
And then later on, there's a part where they're like, do you have water type Pokemon? There is 3 of them that say yes.
Yeah, so they all have water types. But the thing is, like, my primary concern is that what constitutes what they can and can't drink.
Well, okay, so I was under the impression the bubbles were made from water type water being formed by Medicham and Meditite.
But that water came from a Pokemon. Is what
that is my understanding.
Right,
And
so
then they drank it.
Yeah, so Max is like, I want it.
Yeah.
Right?
And then gets killed by a
manga, they do
Gorgeous.
that. So if they're in the desert and you have Squirtle, you just drink the water.
So realistically, though, you're just drinking Pokemon spit.
Yeah.
So, like...
Or whatever they create in their
They have a
aqua
water
powders.
Sure.
sack.
It's still coming out of your mouth. I create vomit in my stomach and spit it out. It still came out of my mouth.
It's still weird, but
Yeah, so
That's
it's...
Blastoise is coming out the...
Sure, and I think that's like
Come
that's
on,
where it's
that's
weird. But any Pokemon that goes, it's like I'm eating spit.
It's
I'm
like
drinking spit.
Like whenever like you see like the early stages, like Squirtle like using like hydro pump or like water pump, it's
You see that
Unless
guy
he does
who-
rabbit spin where it comes out the holes in the shell. And it's,
It's that guy who chugs a whole bottle and spits it all back in and like brushes its
I
sack.
think it's a situation of what I don't know won't kill me.
yeah, I
They-
guess. But then I guess the logic is if that water came from a Pokemon, they easily could have just been like, Squirtle, water gun, thank you, let's keep walking. You know, like
let's
this
keep it going. So
whole movie could have avoided if they just did that.
So realistically, they didn't have a problem, but
Yeah.
plot said you don't have water type.
We got to meet Manaphy.
Yeah, they do that.
This seems to be a common theme of this movie, by the way.
So in the manga, that happens a lot where a trainer's in the desert and they'll just bring out their water type.
Yeah.
Or like if they're hungry and there's a Pidgey flying around, they usually like
Kill it and eat it.
they'll get their Pokemon to chase it down and cook it.
Hope you voted Pidgeot.
So yeah, the gang, their family invites him inside. Let's get some water. Max is playing with an adorable fucking Buizel. I don't think May has Buizel yet.
So it's not May who gets the Buizel, it's Dawn.
Yeah.
Because I had to Google it. I was like, does May have her Buizel? Because why is Homeboy playing with a Buizel?
You're
Going,
right.
I never pet a
You're right.
Buizel.
So I'm mixing
and then
it
I
up.
had to look it up, and I was like, okay, so it's Dawn who
But-
gets the Buizel.
You're
Did
mixing your
Ash
Pokegirls.
have Apom? There was an Apom in this movie that I don't know where it came from.
It was
Ash.
Ash.
It's Ashes.
Okay,
So Ash
'cause-
catches an Apom
and then trades it for Buizel later.
Yeah.
But I thought that was like a same
I'm sorry,
season.
you said Weasel?
Buizel.
Weasel.
Okay.
Weasel.
Okay.
Weasel.
I was like, have
Weasel.
I been saying it wrong the whole time?
So yeah, that's where because I knew this wasn't our hero's Buizel, but I thought Apom was. I'm like, I don't know what's.
Yeah. So there's a weird thing in this movie where you never know who the fuck's Pokemon is whose.
Yeah.
Because there's a part where like Corphish is out, and I'm like, oh, that's and then he's just with everybody else in navigation the rest of the movie.
But
and I'm
I
like,
think
is
that's
that
Ash's Corphish, and because Ash left, and it's
then
just his
I was
chilling
like,
around.
whose fucking Dawn fan is that? I don't remember Ash having a Dawn fan. I was
Yeah.
like, whose is that? Whose is the boy? Whose Pokemon?
I brought this up earlier because I was just like, wait, why does May has an Eevee?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Buizel's like,
She does have TV.
I don't remember.
I
it,
ju-
though.
just-
Because her and
I know that, but like
Oh, okay.
there's the part of me that doesn't. I remember a lot of everything before Advance, and then I watched Advance very sporadic.
Oh, okay. I
So
was gonna say because I know
there's
May
a point.
and
There's a
Dawn
point in
both
time
have
where May had like all 5 of her Pokemon out, and then she had an Eevee, and I was like, I do not remember that.
Okay.
When did that happen?
yeah, because I think Dawn doesn't get an Eevee, but Serena gets an Eevee.
Dawn gets an Eevee.
Dawn gets an Eevee
She
too.
gets Glaceon. Yeah, 'cause she does like a beauty contest. She has like Glaceon and a Mamoswine.
Oh, okay.
Right. Stop using Eevee all the fucking time.
No, because the girls have to get Eevee. 'cause
I
it's
understand.
EV cells.
Yeah.
I know that. That's why I have 2 copies of Let's Go Eevee.
That's not why.
Thanks, Aunt Gladys. No, she went to a yard sale. Digress. She went to yard sale this past weekend, saw a Switch game, bought it, gave it to me, and I'm like, oh, cool. I can just copy the Pokemon off it, I guess. And I'm like, it's Switch. The data's all. I just have 2 copies of the same game. It doesn't matter.
I'll take the other one.
All right, you can have Let's Go Eevee.
Yeah.
I offered it to Connor, but he never said yes. So
Okay.
Sorry, Connor. You missed your
Sorry,
shot.
Connor.
Damn.
You only
Should have voted for
you only get
Pidgeot.
one shot.
Watching this go like, fuck!
Damn it! That was my game.
Should have voted for Pidgeot.
Car's gonna watch this and get pissed.
Anyway, same statement. Gang goes inside, drinks some water. Weasel's like, you're Max, you're cute, but I'm gonna go play with this fucking incubator up here. Turns it on. What's this weird egg? May's like, weird. And Dad's like, sorry, you can't fucking look at that bitch.
Don't look at my egg.
And then walks away. And this happens like 5 or 6 more times where Weasel won't leave this fucking egg alone. Like, homie's just like, cute.
It's the connection between the water Pokemans.
Yeah, of course, I get it. But, so yeah, the family's like, you know what? You guys are pretty cool. You wanna come see our show?
I'm glad you talk about this.
Okay, so they go to the show, they have a good time, the crowd's like, oh, this is awesome, Team Rocket's sneaking through, and Weasel's over there just like, oh, look, the egg again, knocks it off the fucking counter, happens to grab it and like save its life. So as the show's going on, the family, you know, they're popping off, being cool, and they start like, hey, our new friends are here, let's bring them on to the show. So I think Pikachu's chilling on Ash's shoulder, and Politoed's like, "What's up, bitch?" And just like sucks him in.
I immediately saw that, and like in my head, Ash is like, "Wow, cool," and Politoad's like, "I'm gonna drown your rat," and just like fucking takes it. And I was like, "Is it all water? Is it just like like is it just water with
here's
air?"
my thing, right? And this is where science kicks in. So when you're breathing,
They can't drink
shouldn't
the
the
water.
bubble shrink if there's air in the bubble?
Right, you should.
Right? Okay, just making sure it wasn't
But,
me
like-
thinking that the whole time.
Logic doesn't fucking matter.
Not in this opening cutscene, because
Sure.
like, I had the note down written too. I was like, okay, so apparently psychic water bubble equals air, because there's been plenty of times in this in these movies where the characters were like, oh, I suddenly can't breathe. Gotta go back.
Trust me,
They even do it in this movie.
Happens to Ash like
do.
5 times later in a row.
They even do it in this movie. I was like, okay, but we apparently forgotten that logic now.
So yeah, family's like, cool, we brought our friends up, big finale, pop the bubble, sparkle, water fireworks, awesome.
This is the weakest opening, by the way,
So,
in my opinion.
I don't want to agree and say it's the weakest. It's definitely the least exciting, because everything else is like a battle or something hype. This is very much just like, welcome to the circus.
But we get that in almost every movie.
We do.
We get there's
So-
always like a festival that Ash like
Yeah.
accidentally
You know what other movie had a circus that they ended up in?
Jirachi.
Wishmaker.
Bitchmaker. Okay.
Just
And
saying.
you know what? Jirachi wasn't even around yet. It was in like a crystal form.
Facts. So they were both dominant.
So
Cover Our
far.
Pokemon was still in slumber. Noted. Same movie. Okay.
Kind
And
of.
they're in a festival.
A big guy with blue hair, or purple hair, comes in and says, "Kapitata." Happened in both.
Kapitata.
So yeah, Weasel's fucking around still. He's carrying, I don't know where he's going with the egg, but he's carrying it out of the RV, trips and knocks it down. May catches it, and we have this special clown man who's like, "Don't worry, I got it." Takes it, and he's like, "Weasel, don't fucking do that." Without saying words.
Is it safe to say that he was probably gonna eat it? Because that's what
Maybe.
weasels do. They eat eggs. They steal eggs from birds all the time.
Sure.
So is it safe to say he was just gonna like num on this thing?
Maybe, but then it comes back to like water Pokemon are attracted to Manaphy, like, and
Because that was a connection I was going for, and it felt really awkward
Yeah.
that Weasel was carrying this away and outside.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense
when they
where
know
it
the
was going.
family was protecting it, so theoretically the Weasel would know that they're trying to keep it sheltered, and it's
Yeah.
carrying it out.
yeah. Like, the only thing I could think is it probably would have been better if May walked in as Weasel knocked it off the bed and then tried to catch it, and then
Right.
Clown's like, "Hey, don't fucking do that." But I don't know why I had to come outside. Whatever. Pokemon's a mess. Why are we shitting on this movie? It's a good movie. It's the best movie so far.
Stop.
And I mean, like also like that time when Jackie, well, the clown sees them, and she sees May just holding the egg. Without any context, was he not she's trying to steal this? Like when he went to go tell the family member.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done personally. Like, hey, with these people we've been carrying around, they're trying to steal this. Watch them.
Jackie's the champ. He knows. He's
These
good.
people are good of heart.
He probably just went and tattled on the fucking Weasel, said, "Yo, keep your Pokemon in check." He's gonna ruin our fucking mission. Team Rocket, they're chilling in the crowd, and they're like, "There's a Team Rocket magazine that goes out, I guess, the Team Rocket Gazette or whatever."
Team
Has every
Yeah.
information. This is once again proving that Team Rocket just has all the information.
Which has the Phantom, the egg, all the stuff, and then James like, "Hey, Mr. Phantom,
1-800-PHANTOM.
1-800.
we found your egg. Oh wait, I'm out of change." It hangs up. So like, that's
Yeah.
all the. We found your egg. So I guess the Phantom's like, "All right, we're on it."
There's all kinds of people.
We know exactly where to go.
So Elizabeth and her family, they give the gang the ride to the next town. Everybody's sleeping. I don't know how far away the next town was, but everyone's sleeping. Weasel's, again, fucking with the egg, as usual. And then it starts to glow red, which is now fucking with May in her sleep. She has this amazing dream that I'd love to have this dream myself, of swimming underwater with a bunch of water Pokemon. Until she sees this weird little baby thing going like, screaming and doing whatever. And then flies off to some underwater temple.
So this dream confused the fuck out of me.
Okay.
Because she's all happy, excited. She sees the city and she's like, "Wow, that's beautiful." And the Manaphy's like, "Me, me, me, me," and fucking beakers his way over to the city. And she's like, "No! What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why are you mad that it's
Yeah.
going over to the pretty city?" Like,
I had the same thought.
But obviously May was concerned with the baby flying away because she knows she's gonna be his mommy. But she wakes up crazy. It's like, "You good?" "Oh, I'm fine. I'm great." But yeah, after she wakes up, everyone's like, "Yo, let's have a nice little dinner by the creek." They're collecting water, making pizza. It's great. And then Team Rocket sneaks in the RV, and they're like, we're going to take this egg, we'll give it to the Phantom. They're going to love us. They're going to love us forever. Also, Phantom's watching this episode. She's like, what? Why are you talking about me again? So yeah, May's just like, I had this weird dream last night. There was a temple and stuff. And then Elizabeth's like, let's tell her, guys, you're a people of the water.
You're a water people.
Which, it was funny looking at the family, because every time they said that, I'm like, they say May's black?
Yeah.
Is that what they're doing?
And my favorite part is Max is like, wow, you're a descendant of the people of water. Oh, me too! Fuck! Oh!
It's not like, I'm black.
Yeah.
I'm of an island culture.
Why does this just sound unimpressive?
Yeah.
It's about as bad as Arborville. Like,
Well,
So here's the thing: is people are 70% water. So,
we are all people of the water.
We're all kind of people of water.
They could have done better.
it just sounds
They could have. And I think,
is it like a direct translation thing,
I don't
like
think
in
so.
Japanese?
I didn't look it up, and I feel like I'm 100% sure that in the
Ocean people.
I think in the Japanese one they focus more heavily on Manaphy being a prince than there being a temple that matters.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So I don't know what the translation, if anyone knows in the comments, let us know. I don't know what the translation is for people of the water, what they call it in Japanese.
Elizabeth was 17.
Good for Elizabeth.
I was just being that one guy. That commented.
No, Elizabeth is 16. She's not 30. Trust me, you're dumb. Thank you, Osmosis Jones. I hope you come back one day. Anyway, so yeah, they're like, hey, you might be people of the water. Cool. Team Rocket's still fucking with the egg when all of a sudden it starts to glow, and then they all switch bodies. So Jesse becomes Meowth, James becomes Jesse, and Meowth becomes James, which is funny for a few antics for like 15 minutes.
So there's a part where they're like, another egg, and I was like, are they referring to other movies? Is this a joke? Like, this is a lot like Jirachi. Because there's only, as far as I remember, there's only one other movie with an egg.
Oh, they're not talking about movies, because
I know. It was just weird that they were like another
Yeah,
egg.
eggs that have been within the group, there's Togepi, Phanpy, Larvitar.
Didn't James
Maze.
have an egg at one point?
Oh, and Deoxys. Deoxys was also kind of an egg.
Yeah, like a stone egg, yeah. Did James have an egg?
I don't know.
I don't know what his team.
Like I said,
Mom Jr. didn't
my
hatch.
advanced knowledge is
Sure.
But
I can't remember if James had one.
I remember
It sounds
that.
right, though.
they all
Easily
swap,
could've.
and then they go, "I'll never make another egg joke again," and that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then they do
I
this
know
weird
John
thing.
was pissed because like, no, I want all the egg jokes.
They were like, "What do we do?"
I like eggplants a
What
lot.
did they say? They were like, "What do we tell the boss?" And I was like, "Why does that fucking matter?"
Because we switched.
When has that mattered?
He all he wants is the Pikachu.
Yeah, he
for
literally
25
sends
years.
you to other continents because he fucking hates you. Like,
Why do
why?
you have to go like, wow, James, you're packing? Or something like that. It would have been, like, give him some props.
Well, there's the part where Jesse's running as Meowth.
That's I can't wait. Yeah, that part's great. So, family's still explaining the people of the water. They lived in harmony with water-type Pokemon, and to receive the blessing of the sea, they built the Sea Temple, which then was like, hey, this is our palace of water Pokemon and water people. It's great. People of the water can still see it in their dreams. The temple, therefore, May and maybe Max are descendants of the people of water. They really don't harp on this anymore. Mm-mm. They kind of say, like, you might be, but that's it. And I guess later they get the bracelet, but so doesn't. Ash basically becomes the people of the water. Homie's just like, I'll take over. We're good.
Sea spaghetti.
See, and then I put them on like, so that Norman's a people of the water. So he should have been a water type gym leader. Fuck your slacking, but whatever.
Unless it's the mom's side.
Unless it is the mom's side. That's true.
Retaliate. She was always at the sink.
Ooh.
The water. Water in the sink.
Oh,
She was
makes sense.
always
She
doing
was
the dishes.
talking to Manaphy through the sink.
Take care of my daughter. So the gang, they walk into the RV, discover Team Rocket. They do the motto, which is all fucky because they're in the wrong bodies.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
That was a good moment.
So they run away, hop out the window, and then the clown's chasing them down like he's on a fucking mission. What's going on with this weird clown? I don't get it. They hop on their sky bike and start to fly away. Ash is like, Pikachu, Thundershock, and the clown's like, hold on there. I got this. You'll kill the egg.
There's something valuable on there. We don't want to harm it.
So he's like, there's a Fearow. I need it. Beyblade.
And then fucking Ash immediately is like, is that a capture one? I was like,
I know everything.
sorry.
I was a Pokemon Ranger in training.
Ash knows everything in the movies, nothing in the show. That's
Fun
how it works.
fact, the Fearow that Jackie captured is supposedly a reference to the original Pokemon Ranger game, where you meet a Pokemon Ranger in Ringtown named Spencer, whose partner Pokemon is Fearow.
Oh.
Nobody chooses a Fearow as
Spencer
their
did.
choice.
Spencer did.
Clearly, there was not that many choices. I would choose a PG over.
I'm just saying, Solana took the plus, so we didn't have many other options.
Yeah.
Fucking, you just imagine Fearow just. Can we get a gif of that? I want to give it just the plus. Will just be great. Anyway.
Also, there's the same plus that gets kidnapped by Manaphy.
Probably.
Alright, I can do that forever. So
Yeah.
I love the Ludicolo.
So yeah, they fly up.
Under the little colors.
Pikachu jumps on Fearow's back. They fly up. Pikachu's like, "Sup, bitch? I'm about to shock you
and
anyway.
they're like, oh no.
Please don't." He's like, "Psych!" Grabs it and jumps off.
I was about to be really mad at that scene if he electrocuted the balloon. I was be like,
What was
why?
the point?
What was the point of the Fearow? And then he grabs the egg, and I was like,
Yeah.
still kind of what was the point? Like, it's just free falling now.
Yeah, so
I
then
got the
they,
same
obviously they had to get the egg, so Pikachu took it and lands back on Fearow. Fearow's up, pop. They fall and die as usual, and they go back down. And Ash is like, "Yo, is that a capture styler? Oh man, this is the guy from earlier. It's Jack Walker,
John
aka
Walker, aka Captain.
Oh,
Captain America.
oof. USA.
You're a
Stop.
fucking degenerate,
Stop.
fucking Walker. Anyway, so yeah, Jackie's like, "I'm
Mood
Pokemon
dropped
Ranger."
drastically.
Listen,
This week's episode, man.
In context for you guys, it was last week's episode. You're on episode 4
yeah,
now. But
this week's episode.
we're talking about episode 3. Jackie. Anyway, Jackie's like, "This is an egg for Manaphy, the Prince of the Sea. I have to protect it." So they say I'm delivering it to the Temple of the Sea in like Samia. That's the only time they say that word. Like it never comes up again. So I'm like, it's irrelevant. But
This is the time when he also says something, and then his mouth keeps moving.
animation's
Like,
hard.
We gotta help them in a big way.
So I imagine that like they just gave you so much story in the Japanese, and in English it's like, oh, we'll condense it to a couple words.
1-800-FAN.
7 out of 5. 7 out of 10. Too much water. 7.5 out of 10. Fearow pops his thing. Yep. All right, cool. And then the big, ugly CGI helicopters show up again, and the Phantom is just like, grunts, chase them. And of course he goes. There's 2 type of people in this world: those who are chased and those who get chased.
Okay, so no, hang on.
I typed this up.
You just said that there were 2 people, and now there are other 2. So now there's technically 4 types of people.
There's 4 type of people in the world.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, don't worry, we're getting more.
Okay,
of it.
just
It's like a Venn diagram scenario.
Where they cross over.
I'm just trying. I'm trying to keep on type of my people, because there's also people in the water too. Like
Unlimited desire, limited desire, chased, chaser, and it's just
And in the meadows is water people.
people in the
water people. Water people are all of them. They have unlimited desires yet limited. They are chasers and chased. Water people, is allegory for racism? Oh no, I don't like this
And it's
anymore.
just like every time he's like, "There's 2 types of people." Like it's like,
I didn't mind
my
it.
man, it's like you're grouping yourself into too many different peoples, man.
So as they're running away from the Phantom, they run behind a rock. Jackie's like, "I got a blanket," and then he takes off with the blanket. As he sneaks away, Ash is like, "I got this," and he walks away with the actual egg.
It was actually smart. Like,
It was,
when I
very
saw
smart,
it,
yeah.
I was like, okay, so he's either going to hand it off or, like, he did that for some reason.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it was actually pretty smart.
So yeah, he takes the egg, switcheroo, fun times. And as he like, Phantom jumps in front of Jackie. Jackie he rips away the blanket. He's like, "I got juggling balls, I guess," and just chucks him at
If you
Phantom.
want them that bad, take them.
Super unnecessary scene where he gets swatted by the ball after he swats it away. It's super unnecessary.
Bam!
I
Like,
think the
yeah.
one time where Mineta, if he would have been here, this would have been his moment. This would have been Mineta's All Might moment.
This would have proved he belonged in Class 1A. But yeah, I think I like this moment, and unfortunately, like after this happens like one more time, we kind of lose it. But like, Jackie has like a lot of Spider-Man energy or Peter Parker energy with his banter, and we lose that like really fast, which
Yeah.
sucks. So yeah, he's like he hit himself in the fucking face, fucking loser. And then Phantom like picks up a fucking rock, like, chucks it, and Jackie's like, "Whoa, you're strong. Do you take vitamins?" And it's all like, "Fuck, that's funny."
And then not only does he say that, fucking Phantom replies, "Arr." And then, like, Because he goes to run away, he gets up on the rock. He's like, "Oh, you're not gonna get me." He picks up the boulder he's standing on. He's like, "Oh, do you take vitamins?"
Now we cut. Ash is being chased by Beedrill, and the sidekick, whose name I keep forgetting because he was so irrelevant. He's like, Beedrill, use Sludge Bomb. I've never seen a Beedrill use Sludge Bomb. That was a very interesting animation where like the whole drill.
That was cool.
It was pretty cool.
But are we gonna ignore the fucking finger gun pin missile where he's like, use pin missile? Ah! Like he just started lighting up a prohibition bar. Like he went hard, dude.
I'm still confused as to why these pirates have bugs.
Because they have guns.
I still can't get over it.
Because all the water Pokemon were too busy. They're later in the film.
Oh, it's like as cool as this Beedrill fucking is. Like, why does it belong to a pirate?
Smell bad.
It's like I was saying, they could have just easily given Phantom a Sharpedo, and it would have fit perfectly in context.
He also wouldn't have needed a later machine if he had a Sharpedo.
So Ash hands the egg off to May. Ash stays to fight. May and Max run off. Phantom cuts him off. They have a little like tug of war there, and as they like rip the lid off, Manaphy's egg goes flying. May catches it, and then Jackie's like, "Wait, stop! Let me have it." And everyone gets held back, and the egg hatches in May's hands. Therefore, Manaphy comes to life and says, "You're the first person I see. You're mommy." Right?
So
You
know,
are mama.
you know, we have a pizza box and you fucking do this and it's everywhere. I would have I don't know what the thought came in, but can you imagine if Manaphy would have came out really fucked up because of how many times the eggs has been tossed around? It's just like.
Is Fiona birth? Is that an egg Pokemon?
So I think they both are egg Pokemon.
Okay.
But typically,
It's the only
you get
legendary
Fione.
you can breed. Well, mythical you can breed.
Yeah, so you typically get Fione to evolve into Manaphy.
Fiona doesn't evolve.
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's one of those situations where I feel this Pokemon
Fiona,
was created. It's like with Lucario. This
You
Pokemon
breed-
was created before the.
You have to breed Manaphy,
Yeah.
and then you get a Fione.
But it doesn't evolve.
But the Fiona
Right.
doesn't.
I always forget how that works. It's weird.
It's weird because
It's
they
a
never did it again.
Cosmogoid thing. It's, I don't,
Like in
it's fucking
theory,
weird.
Fiona should evolve into Manaphy. It just doesn't.
Pokemon's fucked. Just you didn't need to make two of them. No one asked for a second one.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. You also touched on the thing I was going to talk about coming up.
So after Manaphy's born, sees May, everyone's like, "Wow, look at this cute little Pokemon." There's a moment where the action kind of just comes to a lull, and no one really thinks there's any bad
Dead
guys.
silent.
I
Yeah.
wanted to be the one that had Manaphy.
So the Phantom looks at Manaphy and he's like, "I got my pirate, but I wanted to be the one to hatch Manaphy." Like it's like the guy was sick for reshoot, so they called in a separate dude to do the lines again. It's very weird.
I never said anything about Manaphy, except for I need it to find a city.
Yeah.
And now he suddenly wanted to hatch it.
I think in context, knowing Manaphy's purpose, it would make sense. It's not explained, so if you're not a kid, it doesn't really hit.
Yeah.
But logically, if he hatched Manaphy, Manaphy thinks Phantom's mama, therefore I will do what mama wants. So I will help him find this city. So I think reading between the lines kind of thing there is really the logic, but again, really.
So I wanted to hatch. I just like to think that Phantom this entire time is just doing a pirate act.
Yeah.
And that's his actual voice.
Oh,
That voice actor comes back later as a Sharpedo.
No. Just imagine Phantom reveals he's a Pokemon Ranger testing Jackie.
Exactly. There
It's a
you go.
ploy.
You passed the test.
You passed the test.
The gang starts to run away. Jackie pops in. He's like, "Hey, Phantom, stop!" Throws him into the enemy. They hop in the RV and just kind of take off. Like, let's get out of here.
The RV, there is it looks like a cutscene from an old Final Fantasy game to me.
Yeah.
Like the way it's CG'd and just the textures on it, I'm like, that looks like a Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8 era cutscene of a goofy ass vehicle from one of those games.
So yeah, they're on the RV. Manaphy's fucking crying. May's like, "It's all right, I'll make you stop." Finally makes it stop, and Elizabeth's mom's like, "I'll take over." She hands Manaphy, starts crying again. It's like, "Look, sorry, I got nothing. That's your baby. I can't fuck with that."
You are mom.
I've already done this.
Yeah, Pikachu senses something going on. They poke their head out. Ash climbs up on the bunk bed and just fucking stands on the bed with his dirty fucking shoes. And it's like, oh no, the Phantom and his gang are back. So the Phantom's like, let's move in. We gotta chase him down. They fucking harpoon the RV, try and yank it back off the road. Eventually, everyone just moves to the front car, disconnect, RV gone. That shit probably wasn't cheap.
I love all of the people that don't make sense to stumble when they're crossing. Like the father and the mother, who are like ideally in great shape. They're like, whoa, whoa! And then like all the kids are like, whoa! And then the old man is like fucking ninja moves. He's like, like
I got it.
Dude's like prepared to disconnect his RV, and the fucking parents are like, they're just like tripping over themselves.
So RV goes barreling off the cliff. It's just a harpooned in it. The helicopters kind of get drugged with it, so they lose track of everybody.
If this was any other movie but Pokemon, those helicopters would have exploded.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I was expecting them to in Pokemon.
I like to think that they did. Also.
Yeah.
I thought those people died.
I had the whole scene in my head. It was gonna flip, bounce, like pop up, hit one, the other was gonna hit the other.
Just know every video game, manga, anime, movie, if there's a helicopter, those people are fucking dead.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like at this point, I think we learned that. Like.
Yeah, this is why the CG helicopter is not a good idea.
Yeah.
And also, this is a solid reason as to why normally attack helicopters have machine guns, not harpoons.
Listen,
That's
pirates.
That's a horrible idea. The harpoon.
Yeah, the Hulk just.
And a harpoon.
No.
You can't afford everything, okay? No guns in Pokemon.
Because
Get
you
episode
really have
banned.
to drive home the fact that Phantom is
Except
a pirate.
that Beedrill.
Except that.
So I'm very positive that an RV is heavier than a helicopter. The helicopters are made very light.
Right. Well, that's why I drug 2 of them now. So the family continues to drive the car to this abandoned temple, where we find out, oh, that's where Team Rocket is. That's where they landed. They switch back to their normal places. We got Wobbuffet like, Mab, and then mine. Like, cute, fun little moment, mimicking everything. And this part just has some weird pacing where, like, the Phantom and his crew are right behind the family, but just never happens to catch up.
Yeah, you
Because
never
they
see
don't
them.
have water Pokemon!
As slow as everybody is.
You don't see them for like. This is like I said. I started to fall asleep during part of this movie,
I did. I
and
had
it
to
was
go back.
right here because for some reason it just stops
Yeah.
being about Phantom chasing Manaphy for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it turns into this is where it hard goes. The villain disappeared for a minute.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about the temple, and we're figuring out Manaphy.
So I did fall asleep around this area.
Yeah, I had to pause it, look at the time when when Homeboy returns, and I was like, there's like fucking 25, 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they've forgotten, because he says the line where they're like, we've been following them undetected, so he's like, good, keep it that way.
Good.
And it's like, did you forget he existed?
But I wanted to hatch Manaphy.
The
The same. Oith! Alright, had to make sure.
Hey,
Almost
quota,
forgot it.
Quota.
Hoopa. So yeah, basically at this point, the family and Phantom's crew are all separately walking through this tomb to find something about the people of the water. They get to this dead end. They're like, you guys have water Pokemon? We do, yes. And then they put their magical smartwatch bracelets up to the wall. It opens up. They go forward, and everyone hops in the water with their water Pokemon, swim to this weird cathedral thing that tells the story of the temple. Phantom's crew walks in. He's like, oh, I have a bracelet too, but I only have bug types. I'm going to turn around. Could you imagine if this bitch has had something? Just
This is why this is
Fucking
the only reason.
Sharpedo.
This is the only reason why I assume they didn't give them water Pokemon. They were like, okay, they're gonna escape.
We have to stop them
underground
somewhere.
in the water with water Pokemon. They're
Yeah.
pirates, aren't they? Give them bugs. Give them bugs.
Maybe they're One Piece pirates where they can't swim.
that's anime.
Give them bugs.
Yeah, Manaphy's here too. Manaphy kind of just gets dead silent. Anyway, catches up. Cake follows
Manaphy
Manaphy.
for the rest of this movie. Like, it's so worthless.
He learns May's song.
Yeah, so this is kind of where we hit the part of what I was saying earlier, where we had the Jirachi like RV moment. That was like 5 minutes of fast forward. This is like 30 minutes of
Nothing.
4 days where like, I feel like
Yeah.
a lot happens that does you could condense it all
Like-
to one afternoon of activities.
There's a
Yeah.
part where they're like, what's on the like plan for today? And like Elizabeth is like, me and Brock are gonna make food, and it's
Yeah.
like, why do I care? Just fucking
Yeah.
get to the temple.
I think the only real exposition we get, like, there's a couple points, like, Grandpa calls in for his boat from his old crew, and they're like, oh, like, look, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Hold on.
Yeah, time waster this and
Yeah,
speed this shit up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, the gang enters Cathedral. That's like, this is the Temple of the Sea. The inside is the Sea Crown. It's a treasure that's been coveted for years. Anyone goes after it, da-da-da-da. But no one can get it because mortals can't see it. Only people of the water can. But the only way we can see it is if Manaphy reveals it. What's that?
They're like gods. Like
They are. They're people of the sea.
Imagine
Yeah.
that.
You just people in the water.
Oh, shit, it's nice
this is
stuff.
why May can use sing.
Do 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 do.
She teaches it to Manaphy.
Love, I love you.
Oh, stop.
Happy.
Oh, God, I wanted to refund my hour and 45 minutes when it spoke.
Manaphy's just fucking Toad.
Wow! Hey! Love you! Happy!
Fan art idea, just Manaphy is Toad.
Can someone Photoshop that?
Manaphy is Toad.
That would make the movie so much better. If
Just
you replace
fucking
Manaphy with Toad.
Mushroom Head Manaphy. Wow! Hello!
Mario.
But yeah, so Manaphy supposedly is the only one that can find the temple. If we follow Manaphy, we'll be good. This is where Phantom backtracks, says, I can't catch him, it's fine. Team Rocket's like, hey, I'm the one who called you about the egg. You want any help? He's like, y'all can clean fucking floors? Let's go.
How are you at cleaning?
Yeah.
The dirtiest.
Yeah, it was kind of funny though. We're just like, yeah, we're really bad at it. Like, it's what, but
Yeah,
come
the
on.
phrasing of the dirtiest, like, it threw me off for a while. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, okay.
Just start fucking lap dancing.
Yeah, so the gang then all of a sudden has these boats, and they're sailing down the river, the water starts to glow, and Jackie's like, hey guys, I appreciate your help so far, but it's time for you to go. A Pokemon Ranger needs to handle this. And then he doesn't. But
Like it all.
unfortunately, and it's just because Jackie ends up in the wrong place at the wrong time while everyone else is doing the real shit. But the gang stops for ice cream. Manaphy's sleeping. This is where Grandpa's crew shows up, and they're like, we've had fun with your boat. We want to come too. He's like, no. You're my friends. You have to stay here. We'll get a drink. And they're like, yeah, we'll get a drink when I get back. I'm like, alcohol? In Pokemon?
A reference. They don't specifically say alcohol.
You know, it's
It'll be
implied.
some nice
They talked about
juice.
Krabbies in movie 2. I
That's
think
true.
we're
And then I was like, no, but I have Krabbies. So yeah, here they're like the family and Jackie like, hey, it was nice knowing you guys. We're gonna go take care of Manaphy. Take care. And May and Ash are like, I'm not really done with this adventure. And the old people are like, you're young. Get your ass in that boat. The one dude in the crew is the narrator for the movie. The world of Pokemon is like, he's the old man. It's like, shit, I forgot to record for this episode. In the world of Pokemon, you kids should go on an adventure. Like, it's pretty great.
Yeah, which since we're kind of done with the, like that whole time skip bit, so the only bit that I could even correlate that to is they really want to harp in, because it's part of a moment that's upcoming, is how attached May and Manaphy are together. Because there's like the whole thing with where Max is like, I guess you really are a mom.
Yeah, thanks for the advice,
And,
Max.
and it's like, there's ways to kind of give us the gist and keep progressing.
They could just have May walk like 2 feet away and have Manaphy cry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that would have been better than this whole time timestamp.
Which they kind of did with head over to mom.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I
Cried at
can't.
Mom, yeah.
And that could be perfect.
Which like right there already, that gives us enough information to say, all right, we see where this is going. But then they're
Yeah.
like, hey, you really got to get this, guys. They're
Yeah.
together.
And we do get a few moments that I think are, I won't say necessary, but are important, where it's like May's talking to Manaphy. It's like, I'm teaching you how to say happy. I'm teaching you how to say I love you. You know, and it's like, I'm saying the word May, so at the end of the movie, you hear I love you, May, instead of, you know, I just love you, mama, all 9 yards. But,
So if Manaphy has no fucking idea what he said. Like, he
I
words like a parrot.
So yeah, Manaphy wakes up because it was
Just
asleep
grunts.
as they sailed away, and it uses Heart Swap or whatever they call the ability, which switches Jackie and Ash's bodies. So now Jackie's left on the shore, Ash is on the
That
boat.
totally cannot move.
Trafalgar Law.
Yeah.
That's the...
So the real flaw here is they had to stop the boat to go back and get Jackie, but Heart Swap is temporary. So I guess really they could have just kept sailing.
But they did say
Manaphy would have had to stop. They would have had to stop Manaphy from crying, but.
the grandpa said, I don't know what happens if you get too far away, which is the only time that I think they try to explain is like,
Yeah.
oh, well, that's why they stopped. Here's my question about this whole thing. Why couldn't they even go in the first place?
Because this is a job for a Pokemon Ranger.
Yeah, but he's not the only person going. He's taking the people of the water.
People of the water. This is their temple.
I still don't. I
Max
don't
and May
understand.
might be the
Like
people
this,
of the water.
this is one of the
We can't lay on those
This
cards.
is one of those situations where it's just like, okay, we could have gotten rid of like 10 to 15.
You're
10 to 15
absolutely
minutes
right
here
there. I'm
by
fucking
just
around.
having them go with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like-
I'm fucking around, but I agree. It's.
So imagine May and Max took Ancestry.com
Spell the
after
end.
this.
It's just
Mom,
spelled
you
the
don't
other.
understand. We're water people. It's like...
You guys aren't black. You're not. Stop.
0.4%.
Like especially if you know the fact that Manaphy's gonna freak out if May's
Yeah.
not there. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it was definitely.
There's plenty of moments where it's just like, okay, you seem to be learned in this situation, but at the same time, you seem to be fucking dumb. Like,
It's another instance of that's how they could have shown May and Manaphy's bond without all the shit that happened before.
yeah.
So yeah, they go back, pick up the gang. May is happy with Manaphy again. Teaches it the word happy. Manaphy's like happy. And then I think after that they start like, yo, say this, say Ash. And he's like, say Max. And he goes, yo, Manaphy. He's like, you said Max. You fucking said Max. Like, no.
I like how Brock goes, no.
Oh, are you sure? So like, yeah, now at this point, Manaphy has to choose his own path. So they fucking chuck the bitch in the water. And he just jumps. And now this is where like the 4-day follow Manaphy session happens. And then all of a sudden the boat gets like a lot bigger than it was, where they have like an aquarium underneath, and they can kind of watch all. And I love this. I love being able to watch the water Pokemon. Like, if I was on this boat, I'd fucking live in that room, just to be watching everything underneath.
Yeah.
And, until a fucking lantern would like come out the window, I'm like, I have to go swimming. I have to go play with this fucking lantern, dude. I
gotta go do it right now.
That's okay. It's fine. It's cute. There's a couple times we get this show up where Elizabeth's father and grandfather are like, hey. Again, weird, unnecessary, but I guess builds were like, yo, if we get to the temple on the full moon, we might be able to see it. Which wasn't specified earlier, but now is. So, yeah, full moon equals people can see
Why do
temple.
we care about that in particular? It's just like, their plan is to see the temple. All right, cool. And they let us know this 3 to 4 times in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Couldn't you just have dialed this down to one moment when they see the temple? I was like, oh, man.
So, Manaphy continues to swim. She's with the Whalmer and the Wailord. Jumps out of the water, hugs May. And this is where Jackie's kind of like, they're getting too close. If they keep getting closer, we're not going to be able to let Manaphy go. Let's see. Gang takes a break. They go swimming. Ash is like, Jackie, why'd you become a Pokemon Ranger? And Jackie tells this nice story. He's like, once I was in the tundra somewhere, I got lost, it was cold, but a bunch of Swablu, Otaria, Furret, they kept me warm, so I was like, I want to help Pokemon now. And Ash is like, sick, I want to be a Pokemon Ranger!
Ash went through the same experience.
Except he had his own Pokemon.
Blizzard, but he had, like, Charmander.
Yeah,
And that's it, like, there was other Pokemon, but Charmander was the one that...
Charmander kept him warm, and then after Charmander got tired, they just bundled up, and that's when they're like, Onyx found a hot spring! I remember thinking, like, did Onyx just not fall in the water and die?
The equivalent of a Jiren backstory right here. It just happens, and it's like, okay, I guess we're better for learning this.
We get a couple underwater montages, swimming Pokemon, Love Disc, whole 9 yards.
So long.
Yeah.
Oh,
very
by the
long.
way, I hated watching Love Disc swim. It looked like it was just seizing in the water.
Okay, right now, does anybody actually like Love Disc? Did anybody catch one, use it?
I caught one for the Pokédex.
Use
I hate
it? No.
I only caught them in Gen 6 because that's what you needed for the move relearner.
No.
So,
In the very limited experience that I had of Emerald before remakes came out, I caught Love Disc because I thought it evolved.
Oh, you sad.
Why'd they even make a Lomamola, honestly?
Because
Like,
It was a perfect
because they wanted to say, fuck you to Love
What about
Disc.
the ugly ass fucking kiss fish with the teeth? I
So
hate that
Clamperl
fucking thing.
evolving to
Rex
Gorbis
is-
makes no fucking sense. Because Love Disc should evolve into Gorbis. Is that what it's called?
Gorbis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
The evolution of
Clamperl
Clamperl.
evolve into that. That two evolution line makes so much sense to me.
Sure.
They're based on the same fucking thing.
I'll give it, yeah. I mean, I like Huntail either way. Either way, I'm picking Huntail over
Yeah,
Gorbis
Huntail's
any
way
day.
better.
But May teaches I love you to Manaphy, cool. A lot of swimming here. Yeah, this is where I said like it messed with the movie's pacing, where they just keep stopping to swim, get ice cream, hang out with the Pokemon.
It also makes me wonder about this boat's size because they go to like a coral place and it's like, don't you typically have to have like a low boat?
A low
but you
boat,
just
yeah.
showed us that the boat has an aquarium and a submarine.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
like right here, look.
It's fine. It's a
Oh,
boat trunk.
look at the Galarian Corsola.
All you hear is all you hear is this bunch of like closer, like
You're good. You're good. You're good. So yeah, May's walking around the ship and she walks in on Jackie and Ash talking, and Jackie's like, "Hey Ash, I need your help. I need you to like separate May and Manaphy." He's like, "But they love each other." No, if they stay together, Manaphy's not gonna leave, and then we can't fix everything. I need you to help me. And May's like, "It's not gonna be a problem." And Jackie just spits fire, like, "Listen, May, I need you to fucking stop talking to this fucking baby, because the more it loves you, it's not gonna go, and you're gonna fuck it all up." And May's like, "You're right. I'm gonna sit in a corner and cry." And it's really sad because right before she leaves, Manaphy comes to the window like, hey, it's me. And May's like, see ya, bitch. And like sits on like the dock crying. And Manaphy's out like, hello, I love you, happy. And like, I'm like, oh.
It's a very cute moment.
Manaphy wants to talk to May. And like, this is like, here they're now separated for like a good bit. Where like every time Manaphy shows up, like, looking for May, she can't talk to you. Jackie said so. And it's,
so the scene reminds me, the scene right here, because of the whole Bond thing, I don't know why, but every EV trainer must feel like shit because how much love and attention do they give their Pokemon, and that motherfucker didn't evolve into a Sylveon. So every gym, I don't know why this scene, watching it, I was like thinking to myself like, wow, EV trainers suck. Because he evolves through friendship, so I was like, that didn't happen until Gen 6 came out. So
yeah, May not happy with the whole thing, but it is what it is. Cut to Phantom, who's following him in the submarine. That's happening, I guess. Sure.
He's like, I'm gonna follow them alone. There was a scene before where they were like, we can't track them through the underground tunnels because there's too many. And I was like, okay, cool. You just established that you can't track them. How the fuck did you find them now?
Because I feel like it was at this moment, like whoever the director was, they were like, who's the villain again? And they're like, the pirate Phantom. Fuck, we forgot about him. Add him in this part. You've been following behind him closely.
Bring him back. He needs to break into the temple.
We couldn't find them. Oh look, Captain, we found them.
Because again, the only thing I can really equate that to is they have clearly Phantom's crew has like sonar and things like that, and the other ship doesn't. So they weren't able to track them following at a distance.
We were talking about Grandpa's ship doesn't.
But it does.
But it does. Because
right,
later,
I missed that part. Okay.
So later they're following. They're like,
fuck everything.
They go on a separate submarine and they're like, oh cool, they're coming back. But there's another blip. Oh no! And then their submarine disappears. Like what happened? And that's when Manaphy brings up the temple and then like cloaks. It's weird. They could know, but they don't. And
spell the unknown.
To know the unknown. So yeah, now Manaphy's chilling on a rock like, I'm alone. I guess I'll sing to water Pokemon. May watches through the aquarium.
Dude, there was a legit moment where I had fear, where I was just like, is she going to break out into the dews?
Max is like, remember when Jirachi liked my song?
Do you guys remember Jirachi? There's a perfect moment with Max later that I was just like, oh man, this is fucked up.
So yeah, Elizabeth's like, hey May, I know you're sad right now. Take my bracelet. You're a people of the water too. And now she has a bracelet. Pops and Grandpa have another thing of like, hey, we're almost there. If Manaphy finds the temple tomorrow, we get to see it. Awesome. Manaphy hops out of the water. May's like, I can't be here, can't talk to it. And Ash is like, hang out with my Pokemon. Fucking Swellow takes this thing 90 feet in the fucking air. And it's like, oh yay! Sceptile's playing ninja. Donphan's like a fucking slide for it. Apom's dancing around existing.
Sceptile's parkour was so cool, and then it does nothing else.
Yeah, that just seems if Sceptile's not fighting, even like as Grovyle, it's like during this side of paradise, he's like, I'm gonna chill. I exist. I don't do anything.
See, but at this point, this is when I knew the movie was getting too long. At this point, because I'm watching, I'm like, I watched it because I know I'm doing this podcast.
Sure.
This is a movie that I would have been okay with skipping. Like, if it wasn't because we're doing the podcast, I would have stopped. Like, I would have stopped around. What you said?
I would have been okay skipping Mewtwo.
Yeah.
But when Suicune showed up,
through watching this the whole time, I was just like, this is unnecessarily long.
Yeah.
And I was like, it can do without some of these moments. But at this point, I was like, I'm looking at the time left. I'm like,
yeah.
What else can you put into the plot?
Right.
For sure. Yeah. This again, we're still in the drug out. Didn't need to be this. This could have been
so
5 minutes.
Point yet.
Huh?
This is not even the halfway point.
No,
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, half point of the whole movie?
Yeah.
If you were
I think we're like just over like a third.
Yeah. If you were gonna do a swimming sequence, why did you do 2 of them in the same movie?
Yeah.
Just
they could have split it up, and I guess like I think the one at the end is fine, is good. But there's a lot of like swimming that just. Again, I love these scenes so much, but they definitely made this movie longer than it should have been. May comes out, she's everyone having fun, gets to put on bandana, gets blown away, and then Manaphy's like, shit, that's Mama's bandana. So Manaphy goes after the Sharpedo. Sharpedo.
The one that should have been the Phantom.
Yeah.
Phantom. I wanted to hatch the Manaphy.
Because like when I when I saw like the Sharpedo and like it was like to me like it kind of looked like it was like, hey, come on, come a little bit deeper, and I was like, all right, so this is when the pirates are gonna catch this thing.
But
no,
the thing is, the odds of Manaphy finding this thing are pretty like exponentially tiny, because it got drug off by Sharpedo, got caught on Relicanth, went the opposite way. Manaphy followed the Sharpedo. It kept swimming, and it just happened to be stuck to a cloister that it swung like it was.
It's called Heart of the Cards.
Sure, Manaphy loves the Heart of the Cards.
Spellion?
So at this point, they're like, "Yo, Manaphy's missing. It must be really sad that May's not talking to it. Let's go find it." They get in the little submarine that's inside of this little but big boat, and Elizabeth's like, "I'll take them."
This is a kind of cool part with 3D Pokemon that are like hiding from the searchlight.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, this is kind of neat. The Octillery, that was like, like that one was my favorite.
I love Octillery.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're following in the mini submarine. Manaphy finds the bandana on Cloister, swims back to the submarine. He's like, "May, I found your shit," and they do like a weird like half hug through the glass, like, "I love you."
Yeah.
I love you too.
I love you too. Wow. So like, all right, let's go home. And this is where they make the comment that me and Brock will cook tonight, and then they get caught in a current and start getting all fucky wucky all over the place. Manaphy's like, "I can swim, follow me." But they were lost in the current, but I guess we're like, "Oh, I guess I could just steer." And like,
Oh man.
I don't know. It pissed me off just a little bit. But anyway, they escape the current, and the family's like, "Oh, good, we're good." But they're like, "Something's on the radar. What's that?" And then Phantom's like, "I'm going to leave my submarine and go on my little scuba submarine," which looks a lot like Necrozma. Like, it just has a weird, sharp angularness to it. But I digress.
He hollowed out a Necrozma and just took a ride.
No.
if he hollowed out an Ultra Beast this early, I'm horrified of what else Phantom can do.
Lift boulders.
Lift boulders.
There's two kinds of people.
He does another superhuman thing later, which I fucking love. As serious as it's meant to be, it's goofy as fuck. So Manaphy, like, as it gets closer to the temple, it cloaks the gang. The moon turns red, and they discover the Temple of the Sea.
Ominous as fuck.
It's very ominous.
The minute it turned
The
red, I
blood
was
moon.
like, the fuck?
The blood moon rises once again, Link.
Time to fight.
What a horrible night for a curse. Sorry.
So the gang, they end up like inside of the bubble dome around the temple, and they climb like into or onto the temple. It's
Search
weird
for the pale blood.
because they're underwater. It's cool as hell. They're underwater in a bubble with oxygen, so they can breathe, and no longer we don't need the oxygen things or any whatever. No submarine. Now Manaphy and May can physically touch each other again. They get the bandana back. I love you. Great. So they start exploring the temple. Manaphy starts singing, and this big ass waterfall is like singing back. She's like,
Is the temple singing?
and as the waterfall opens, Jirachi comes down. And
Is this time travel?
Bitch slaps Manaphy.
You need to get a
Suicune comes out of the temple and starts purifying the water.
You need to get a soundboard so every time we want to do a throwback, we just press. And it's the characters doing whatever.
That would be good.
Can we do our own movie where we grab bits from everything and just shitty animate it and premiere at the end of this?
Time travel.
So we need to have a movie with time travel.
We just
Y'all don't know.
make a trailer for the
Wish
entire
maker.
thing, and it's just all the memes.
Jirachi just fucking bitches left and right.
It's just like,
Random
well, is that time travel? The same oink, doo-doo-doo-doo. Like it's just like
Have
the
actually,
one
like,
Pokemon
dirty water,
adventure.
and so we can just. And then that's his whole
Yes.
cameo to leave.
We just take like Rumple's paw and dip it in a glass of water.
Just diet blue with Kool-Aid. Just.
A fake ass like noise.
God damn it.
Shit.
Are we
Anyway.
slowly going insane watching
Oh
all these?
yes, absolutely. Manaphy goes crazy, or doesn't go crazy. Sings, the waterfall opens. Something that pissed me off a little bit. I understand this temple was for the people of the water, therefore it should be a solid thing. But something about Manaphy opening the waterfall, and instead of going straight down the middle on the path, is swimming in the left side. I was like, I feel like the water should be the main shit for the prince of the temple, whatever.
I can see that. I can see how you get that.
It bugged the hell out of me though.
So then you think it would be like more like something like from like Italy, where
Sure.
they use like the canals
Venice.
as like
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think Manaphy
The
should own
unfortunate thing
Ultimar.
is, we already did that movie.
Yeah, we already did that.
Manaphy should own Ultimar is what I'm saying.
Wouldn't be the first time they were from a previous movie.
So yeah, Phantom follows him inside. He's like, "Oh boy, we made it!" Oh, and Chatot here too, by the way. It's like its second line of the movie. It goes,
I'm here too.
Team Rocket snuck in by hiding inside of the thing. And I missed it. I don't know when the first one happened. But Team Rocket falls inside, and they make the reference about diamonds and pearls.
It's something about.
Because I know Chris mentioned it to me on Discord. I just don't know when it happened because I didn't hear it.
It's something when they're on the ship. Because
Okay.
they're like, he's like, there's probably treasure, like diamonds. And he's like,
Yeah.
that sounds like a great name for a game.
Right.
Yeah.
And then here they're like diamonds and pearls. Like, let's finish this season first. It's
Yeah.
like funny because Gen 4 is coming. It's great. It's a good bit. I liked it. And then Jackie, I forget what happened to Jack. Oh, he didn't take the ship with him anyway. Jackie's like swimming down. He's like, I gotta swim.
On his own volition,
On
like,
his own
damn,
volition.
man.
Yeah.
Which
He's a
everybody,
Pokemon Ranger.
every Pokemon so far has done a pretty good job saying their name. And then he's like, I'm going to catch that Mantike. And it just turns and goes, it just goes, scoops him up and starts going.
He's still learning how to talk, okay? He's
Yeah.
figuring it out. Yeah, so captures Mantike, swims to the temple.
Is that worse than Slurps McGee?
No. Nothing's worse than
Alright,
that.
so the gang, they discover this slab of ancient text. None of them can read it, but, oh, I see what I wrote. Okay, so then Phantom's like, but I can. And they're like, whoa, you can't be here. He's like, what are you gonna fucking do? Fight me? Bring it on. And at this point, we don't know about the mech suit, but he's like, I'll kick your fucking ass, kids. So he reads the sign. It's like behind this door is the
Good thing we don't have Pokemon right now.
That's what I thought, right? But you know, bring out your bug types. I guess I have a Swellow. It's fine. So he's like, behind this door is the sea crown. Blah blah blah. Whoever opens it, Almighty, something about the whatever. He touches the thing with the cool little bracelet. The red moon disappears. I put red mood. That's funny. The red moon disappears, starts to fade, turns to normal color, and then the temple just disappears. Jackie can't see it anymore. He's like, the fuck? I'm just trapped underwater with this stupid Mantike that can't speak. So then the Phantom discovers the crown.
Boring.
Phantom discovers this crown, which is just a big ass like statue fountain of like
So when
jutting
I saw
out crystals.
So when I saw it, I thought it was a Slow King crown.
Okay.
And I was like, that's kind of cool. But I don't think it was.
But then they
No.
say psych.
Yeah.
It's just psych. So yeah, over the big statue, whatever. Then he goes, now there's two types of men: the ones who look good with jewels and those who don't.
6 times.
6 types of men in this world.
Okay.
But the thing is, the first and the third are 2 types of men. The second is 2 types of people. So now we have 2 Venn diagrams
Okay, gotcha.
of which men are included within
Just
people.
the fucking Olympia.
And then the water people somehow.
They're
people
in
of
the
water
middle.
exist somewhere in here.
So yeah, Manaphy.
The Charlie meme.
So that was a really weird moment too when they walk up and he's like, the water or the people in this temple. He's like, I know all about the water or the people in the water. And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
So Manaphy jumps inside the thing, starts swimming around, and this is where fucking Phantom was like, you know what? I'm gonna start fucking with this shit. He grabs like a crystal and like takes it out, and then everything starts to flood. Waterfalls
It's such
come
a
everywhere.
weird moment because it's just like, okay, he opened it up. Nobody's like feeling any type of like hostility towards this man who has been the antagonist the entire show, and then they just let him fuck with shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what happened?
There was also like, so when he pulls out the crystal, the water that's like holding the crown, it like vanishes, and I was like,
Yes.
that's very unimpressive. And then like a fucking door's like, bleh, it just like lets out a gust of water, and I was like, cool. And then they do it again on Man Ash, and I'm like, they're not even fucking wet. So like, why do I care about this? And it takes so long to get to the point
Yeah,
of like the
yeah.
city is breaking down.
It's very, very slow. It's painful. Teeth pullingly slow.
I know all about the people in the water,
I don't
so
know.
I should also know how this fucking works.
Yes.
So the gang decides to retreat. We're gonna fuck with Phantom. It's whatever. I think Max almost falls off the fucking bridge. Elizabeth saves him, and they have this weird like kind of sentimental moment where Max hugs Elizabeth as if like
He was scared.
he's scared, but it's like she's my protector. I guess she saved me. And Ash notices Elizabeth is like tearing
Happy
up a little
love
bit.
you.
Like we gotta go. We gotta leave. Let's go. So this we're on their way out. Jackie's like, "Hey, what's going on?" He's like, "Over there. It's the guy. You got to stop him." Jackie's like, "All good. I'll get him. You guys get the fuck out." So Phantom, Jackie, they're squaring off, and Jackie's like, "I'm actually really fast. Watch me, bro." And starts hopping around, grabbing crystals, shoving them back where they belong, until they get there's like 4 or 5 left, and then Jackie's like on the edge. Phantom grabs him and says, "We're going down together." Yes. They go down together, and it's like, "Oh no, we lost a crystal."
Which that whole entire sequence kind of bothered me because I'm like, as
Jackie
Jackie's
versus Phantom?
putting them back in, why is Phantom not taking more out?
He's trying to kill Jackie.
That's fine. He can pull one of the crystals out and then smack him in the head with one. I feel like that would have been the better scenario there.
Sure.
Nah.
But don't worry, we'll put the crystals back when we get here the 3rd time. It's cool.
I touched those, so those are immediately mine.
They're fine.
Oh,
He didn't lick them yet. That's the problem.
There was the thing where it's like everything that doesn't belong to somebody belongs to me, and I'm like,
yeah.
that's a fucking paradox. Because of it.
Because then they would belong to someone.
Yeah, so they don't, but they do.
So as
Only the Sith speak in absolutes.
as these two fall off the ledge, they get sucked into different like sewer grates or whatever. Phantom gets sucked out one way, lands on this like little trap of water, and drops the crystal, which then floats away. And as Phantom gets up, he's like, "Shit!" and just starts like speed running on water, and then just the crystal slips through a little hole, crushes his face. This is the last time we see Phantom for a couple minutes. So Manaphy's swimming back to the crown. Did I miss something? Nope, I'm right. So they go to return to the crown? Yeah, whatever. Manaphy's like, "We gotta fix the crown." Starts trying to pick up the crystals. May and Max are like, "Oh, we got this." They put all the crystals back, except for the one, because shit, we don't know where it went. Team Rocket tries to escape with Phantom's sub. Phantom's like, "No, this is mine," but too late, everything floods. But then that's okay, because Jackie takes it. And Chat Tot's like, "I don't want to die. I'm going to go with the Pokemon Ranger." So now Jackie officially has a Pokemon Ranger partner. Why Chat Tot? Bottom of the barrel, it's fine.
It was this trophy.
Yeah, yeah. Chat Tot!
Hey,
He just
can
says
play,
some-
he can play, or not play. He can use Boomburst now. So
Facts. Before the sub gets away, Phantom like swims up to it, grabs this like little water jet thing, and that's his little like fake Sharpedo he uses the rest of the movie.
Lost opportunity, man.
So Man Ash, they finish putting all the crystals in except the last one. They can't find it. They go running away until Pikachu's like, "Wait, bitch, stop! It's right there." So then they're like, "Oh, cool, we got it." So they get the crystal, continue to try to escape, and then they find the safety capsule.
Those things have to be heavy as fuck, right?
The crystal. Oh yeah, Manaphy
And,
can pick it
and
up.
fucking Ash just one-hands it.
I'm saying Ash held Fletchinder.
Yeah.
Held Larvitar. Held Emboar or a Pignite.
He also held Cosmium.
Cosmium.
It's like 999 kill. Like,
Ash is
ugh.
swole. So they find the safety capsule from the submarine. Ash is like, "May, get inside. Pikachu, Manaphy, you too. I'm gonna go save the day."
the real reason you two didn't
We
punch.
have to do this manually.
So Ash is like, "Now, Pokemon Ranger time." He starts parkouring through the rest of the temple. I'm speeding up a little bit. We're going a little long in the tooth. But anyway.
It's a
Ash,
long movie.
yeah, Ash gets all the parkouring off of ledges and stuff until he reaches the point where he's like, "I officially have to start swimming." So he starts swimming underwater. He's running out of breath, whatever. As he gets back in the room, he goes up to catch his breath because he knows he has to swim down to put the crystal in. Another one of those little like spitting waterfalls hits him, so he drops the crystal. Now he has to swim all the way to the bottom. He can't catch his breath. He comes back up, gets his breath again, goes back down, unlodges the crystal, but in doing so, he ran out of breath, passes out, and Manaphy's like, "I can feel it. We got this." So Manaphy like touches May's head, and May's like, "Ash, be okay." And then Ash sees
Obviously, how air works. Once you start drowning, you just
someone
have
would-
to have somebody.
someone tell you can do it. So then May transmits to Ash, and Ash is like, "Oh fuck, I'm awake." He goes up, gets his breath again, swims down, picks up the crystal, puts it in place, and he's like, "Perfect, we did it. We nailed it." But he also like swims like hella fast at this point. Like, homie's a fucking water type. But I'm assuming at this point is where we start.
Pretty
to
good for a
imply-
man who almost just drowned.
Ash has officially become, well, I don't want to spoil it, but
Fucking sea spaghetti.
Gets the crystal, plugs it in, and now the sea crown's restored. The temple's starting to go back to its former glory.
Hate this.
And then a bunch of like tentacles of energy start to
Sea spaghetti.
sea spaghetti starts to take over.
Palms are sweaty, knees weak, sea spaghetti.
This grabs the capsule that May's in. So I'm assuming Ash has control over this, or it's spawn of luck. It's like I know who to take care of, who not to.
Manaphy?
Maybe Manaphy's in a
That
capsule.
whole sequence to me was just kind of, it
It's
just felt
strange.
It
like
happened.
horrible.
Yeah.
Like when Ash took that, the plot armor came on
Yeah.
and it really tightened. It's like, all right, we're protecting you, buddy.
So yeah, then a bunch of water Pokemon start to flood in. It's really cool. There's some Wailords, some Love Disc, and the little submarine. They're going back to. I think they're going back to the main ship to be safe. And then we get the ultimate Pokemon of this fucking movie. Kyogre comes swimming in, and Max is like, "Oh shit, it's Kyogre."
Oh hey,
Oh, hey,
Kyogre.
Kyogre.
Which Elizabeth,
Cool.
I forgot to mention it. She could not sound more unenthusiastic this
What
entire
kind?
movie about anything. They'll just be like, Elizabeth, watch out, you're gonna die. She'd be like, oh no.
Please don't.
Me and Brock are gonna make pizza.
After Kyogre comes, I guess whatever hole Kyogre was in, like, fix some density of the sea level because now the temple floats up to the top of the water.
And also, I'm just saying, there was no like torrential downpour, so the games lied. The games lied.
He was holding it in.
Fuck the Weather
They
Institute.
found the crown completed, but the city was underwater. So then they complete the crown, and it starts floating up to the fucking top. Why?
Spell the onion.
It was
that's why.
it was one of those you had to turn it off and turn it back on kind
That's
of thing.
stupid.
You had to make,
It's like, oh, you're.
It's a computer.
Yeah, call 1-800-PHANTOM. They'll fix your fucking sea crown.
Your seat crown isn't working? Have
Did
you
you
tried
take the
turning it off and
crystals
turning it back on?
You see, there's two kinds of people: those who take the crystals out and put them back in, and those who don't.
so yeah, as the temple floats up, May's chilling up there. She's like, "Oh, good, we saved the temple. The family could see it. They're happy. They're people of the water. We did it." But right before everything's all hunky dory, we have an Iron Mask Marauder come in, where Phantom's like, "This is my Manaphy," and like,
Oh, hey, sorry.
Why did I
Sorry.
also say that? That was not like the Mask Marauder. It's like,
Sorry.
okay, he's back.
The other thing that pissed me off about this part, he goes, well, if I have Manaphy, I can always find the city. I'm like, it's above water now!
It's right
You
there."
can see it!
Why is nobody taking the coordinates of this right now? Like,
well, to be fair, the temple does. So they did say earlier we skipped it, but it does move. So it's connected with the water, therefore it flows, and the only people who can find it is Manaphy. So if we want to read between the lines again,
2 seconds
technically
of dialogue while they were swimming. That was all
the
in bubble
Phantom,
language.
the Phantom technically would have taken Manaphy because now the temple's visible. They're gonna stop him.
Where's the temple at?
Above water.
No. Where's it at? They said it in the beginning of the movie. Where's that, Danny?
What do you mean?
Remember that line of dialogue. Where's the underwater temple at?
Under what?
Where's that?
What-
Exactly,
what-
the underwater temple of Samia.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about mist lines.
I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, it's
Fall
underwater.
Guys, Danny.
Anyway, doesn't matter. Phantom didn't do anything wrong. So as Phantom takes Manaphy, he's like, now I have it. I can find the temple. Ash is like, here we go. Ash goes fucking Super Saiyan and starts flying out of the water in this yellow energy tentacle shit.
Super spaghetti, dude.
By the way, if anything, this should have been May's moment.
it should have
I
been
think
May's
so. I
moment.
agree.
I would have even been happy with
Honestly.
Jackie doing this.
Yeah, but
like,
this is where May and Max, or the people of the water, or implicitly, possibly, and Ash becomes the hero again. It's like it
Impossibly.
felt impossibly.
You-
So this would've
Pokemon
been-
2000 did without the whole prophecy.
You know what it was? It was a prophecy we didn't know about.
Yes.
This would have been a good moment to make May the main character, or not the main hero for this story, and still have Ash have his badass moment.
Sure. I think it would have been great, but
I think it would have helped the movie a lot too.
I think it would have just had to find something to differentiate. I think that putting May in the capsule and protecting her is what fucked that moment.
Yeah.
Because now that Ash went and saved the crown,
She's damsel in distress,
he's the king of the sea, or whatever they call him.
which nothing in this movie tells you that.
Right. Which now, again, also kind of makes Manaphy irrelevant, because if Ash is the king, what do you need the prince for?
Yeah.
So, but then he just leaves, so like now does he just give up being the king? It's not great.
It wasn't chosen of Ash.
Yeah.
Sea spaghetti.
But anyway, they're fucking around. Phantom's like, I got Manaphy, but Ash's like, nah, I'm the king of the sea. A bunch of Pokemon start interrupting. Remoraid engulf him. Wailord and Wailmer fucking around. I forgot. He got back on the big submarine, too. He's like, I'm gonna fucking shit up. And then...
Where did this come from?
Dude, when
Why is it
Kyogre
handlebars?
lifted him up out of the water, I thought for sure Kyogre was gonna like flip and just
smash
smash
him, right? Wouldn't that have been great?
I was like, do it. And
Just
then
launch his fucking ass.
He just volleyballs him.
Yeah.
He just fucking he sets him for Ash to sea spaghetti and back down. Like
So he gets up on the
and then
ship.
Ash just uppercuts.
The Pokemon start trying to like slam into the ship from underneath, and that's where they do the weird supersonic thing to make everybody dizzy.
Supersonic.
And Manaphy goes, no.
yeah, there's the one guy. He's like, it's the Whale Lord. That guy killed me because his ship is just getting bashed by these enormous fucking whales, and he just goes, it's the Whale Lord. It killed me.
So yeah, Manaphy sings, takes away the supersonic and the confusion. All the water Pokemon unite again. The Chinchou are like, we'll be the MVPs. They swim inside the boat or whatever little area, electrocuted so all their systems shut down. And this is where Kyogre jumps out of the water, Manaphy riding on top, and just fucking hyper beams this shit and shuts down Phantom's entire career. Whole thing gone. And as the smoke clears, we see Phantom chilling with like a mech suit all around his body, like holding
Is that
shit
a
up.
mecha suit?
I didn't think he was the kind of type to take vitamins.
Yeah. So at this point, it's like now we know
that
why.
line was not delivered well, though.
It really
was.
was.
The way that he says it sounds like it should be like a disbelief. It was like, I didn't think he was the one.
Right.
But he's like, I didn't think he did take vitamins.
Yeah, it sounds
Why
like
did you say it that way?
it reaffirms that he does take vitamins. He doesn't have a
Exactly.
robot suit. Jackie ruined this fucking movie.
Damn it, Jackie.
But yeah, then this is where he's like, there's two types of men. Those who are crushed and those who do the crushing. And I do the crushing. And then this...
This is one of the worst bits. Like, I'm willing to say this is the worst bit of all the movies.
It's not great, but it's memorable, right? You know? It's the same oith.
Same.
I'm just saying, 2 movies from now, we're going to be like, there's 2 types of people. I guarantee it. We're going to be sitting there and be like, and then Darkrai came into town. And there's 2 types of people. Those who have nightmares and those who do not. You know?
Those who like Totodile, those who like Totodile with weird.
I mean, if we can just meme every movie up to this point, then
I'm sure we can find something.
Baby need a queen.
maybe the queen.
So as they crush fucking, Phantom, Manaphy and May hug each other. We love you. This is great. Fun music plays, and Ash is like, trust me, I'm the king of the sea. I got this. And everybody starts tentacle flying through the air.
Hate it.
And
Which means they're all the king of the sea. So how does this power work?
I honestly at first, because when you watch it first, it's the family doing it. So I'm like, oh, the people of the sea can now do this because the temple's visible. But then Ash and all the friends are doing it, so I'm like, I'm still not sure if it's Ash with the power or if it's the temple and Manaphy doing something.
And again, if May was the one in Ash's position, you can say, oh yeah, May cares about all these people, so
Yeah.
she's doing it.
It's
But
much,
because it's
yeah.
Ash, you're like, this is an asshole.
Yeah, it's pretty whatever.
I was under the impression that it's something that has to do with the temple, because when the temple starts to get all the spaghetti energy around it, it starts to look like a crown.
Right, which they do mention, like, that's the crown of the sea, not the thing inside, but
The whole
It's
city
still-
is the crown of the sea.
yeah,
It leaves a lot up to interpretation.
it really does.
Yeah.
But then Jackie calls in, he's like, does Jackie get to fly? Jackie doesn't get to fly.
Nah, he's
No.
like, fuck that shit.
He's
like-
standing on the spot where Homeboy gets crushed.
That's
he's
right.
watching him trying to struggle out of
Yeah.
the rubble, and he's just like, oh, cool, sea spaghetti.
So
With Phantom's chat out.
Yeah.
he calls in like, hey, what up, hot redhead? Mission complete. He's like, good job. I knew you could do it. No, whatever. Manaphy's got to go home now, but May's like, we got to have one last hug. Manaphy hops out of the water. Happy.
Love you.
They hug. I love you, May. I love you, Mama. And like, oh my God, they said the thing.
It's the same energy.
Manaphy jumps in the water, and Max, I think it's Max that says it, May, are you all right? And then May's like, no, but I will be.
This
And then
movie
credits roll.
has no right to end on a fucking amazing line like that.
It has the same energy as Lucario. It's like, Lucario's dead. Nah, his aura's with me. Boom.
I remember some random part where Max
It's not as good.
Like, everybody's dead silent. Max just goes, I miss Manaphy. And I legitimately thought he was gonna go, I miss Jirachi.
That's what I thought. Because he was just like, there was some point where he was just like, do you think we'll ever see Manaphy again? It's just like, yeah, probably, of course. It was like, good, because I'll never see Jirachi again. That bitch doesn't wake up for 1,000 years.
He can dream, Harold. Few things in the credits. Let's see. Yeah, Jackie owns Chat now as his new partner. Phantom and his assistant. I guess they're in jail. I think
The original Team Snag 'em is Jackie.
Jackie.
Just take out other people's Pokemon.
Let's see. The gang goes separate ways from the family. Probably the best part of the credits is where Zapdos is chilling on a rock and Jackie's like, I got you, bitch. What?
For what? No, I'm saying for what reason?
Because he's a badass. Jackie had to have something cool happen.
Why not something from Gen?
The fucking Gen 2.
This man just captured true villain Zapdos.
Why not capture something from that Gen just to show it off?
Sure. Yeah.
There's a lot of Pokemon that didn't get the spotlight in
Yeah.
this Gen, and I don't know.
What was he gonna do? I mean,
It could have been Staraptor since Diamond Pro's around the corner. Like,
Yeah.
It could have been. I just feel like Zapdos.
I think if they did that though, that would have been a little too much of like if you didn't stick around for the credits, you didn't get to see the cool new Pokemon, which
Yeah.
they probably would have wanted to. First movie Don fan that rather than end credit. People already left the
Like,
well,
I'm
it
not
wasn't
against the
theater,
Zapdos thing. I mean, it was badass looking. It's
Probably
just,
could've been
it's
another
the
choice.
idea that like, why Zapdos?
I think it's probably reference in one of the games. I mean, you catch like every legendary, but Zapdos is a major boss fight. I think in the first game, so it was probably an allude to that.
Okay.
But
I don't know.
That game had to destroy your touchscreen.
yeah,
I
But it was
had the
fun.
game. I had both because it was like rescue.
I think there's three. There's Pokemon Ranger, Shadows of Almia, and I think there's a third one.
I only
Unless-
played two,
Okay.
and I don't remember them, but I remember them being good.
Yeah. Jackie gets Zapdos. Team Rocket's like hiding in some dark area. Turns out they're inside of a Whaler and just get
Butthole. Yeah.
in the sky. Funny. And then the Pokemon are living in the temple. That's really it. It's cool. Manaphy's being a guard. Awesome. And that, Jesus Christ, was Temple of the Sea.
So Manaphy doesn't talk; it just knows those words, right?
Basically, it probably
so
just
can you
says
imagine
the
the
words.
trainer that catches him? He's like, "Hey guy, hey Manaphy, my name's Tada."
I love
Happy!
May.
I love
I
you,
love May. I love May.
Happy May, love, mama. Okay, I don't want you anymore. All right, guys.
Had some menthols in the meantime.
Let's take a peek here. It's time to rank this movie. The current listing is starting from the bottom. Number 9, Pokemon Mewtwo Returns. Number 8, Pokemon 2000. Number 7, Pokemon Forever. Number 6, Pokemon Jirachi Bitchmaker. Number 5, Pokemon Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. Number 4, Pokemon 3, Spell the Unknown. Number 3, Pokemon Heroes. Number 2, Pokemon the First Movie. And number 1, Pokemon Destiny Deoxys. Anybody have just a blanket? It belongs here.
It belongs at 9.
So it should
belongs
above Mewtwo Returns.
Above Mewtwo, below 2000.
And then it goes number 1.
I'm honestly, if
I believe
anything,
it's the first movie too. You know what?
I think it's just better than 3. Is
Nah,
That's-
I'm just fucking around. It goes right above me too.
right above Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's very, very.
This,
good spot for
honestly, I'm actually willing to bring it down just because of how long and unnecessary scenes there were in it. It's just that it's hard to bring it down when Mewtwo was a special.
Sure.
And this is like a full-blown movie.
I understand.
But
I will
there's-
absolutely argue that it goes above Mewtwo Returns. I don't
I-
think it's worse than Mewtwo Returns.
I want to say it's worse just because of the I'm gonna put it above, but like I said, it was so long and halfway. I fell asleep once and I almost gave up twice. And I don't like doing the thing where I don't like multitasking when I'm watching these because I'm dissecting.
Sure.
So I was like, I found myself playing Monster Hunter.
You're like, I really want to do something else,
I'm
but
like updating. I'm like watching TikToks and
Yeah.
watching this at the same time. And it's one of those things where like I just didn't like it, and I feel like they had a good premise,
Yeah.
but a bad execution. So it's like I
I get
want
it.
to put it below Mewtwo, but then like
Yeah.
it's an actual movie. Mewtwo's a special, so I put it above Mewtwo.
Did you have any arguments for it, Dante? Anywhere you think it
I
belongs?
mean, I think whatever I say in terms of my personal opinion, I started that out wrong.
This-
I think in terms of where everybody discussed where it is, I think it actually does go there. In my personal opinion, I actually enjoyed this one a little bit more than Jirachi, because there are 2 movies I fell asleep during. Jirachi was one, and Celebi was the other. I actually did not fall asleep during this movie. I think it obviously has some very glaring weaknesses.
That's so
It has
interesting.
some very glaring weaknesses.
So I mentioned earlier, as I finished and the credits started to roll, I looked at the list and I said, this goes above Jirachi. I'm like, it goes right there. That's where I put it. I can see the argument after discussing me like this movie's kind of it's because I honestly don't hate it. I don't dislike it like I like Mewtwo Returns, but I'm like, fuck, this is like a 4-hour movie. It feels so long.
So I watched the Snyder Cut, and that didn't feel like this movie. This movie felt like it was the Snyder Cut.
I literally had to look at the time several times, and I was like, is it fucking done yet?
Yeah. Like they got to the tempo, I'm like, it's not even close. Yeah.
The things that I think that this movie does great is I actually enjoy the connection with Manaphy and Meh.
Sure.
I actually enjoy that interaction. Was it
away.
a little long? Sure.
Yeah.
Was it a little long? Absolutely. But I think it was better pulled off in terms of establishing a connection and between those two characters than Jirachi and Max.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, he doesn't turn into any of the Pokemon.
Huh?
I said, just keep in mind, none of her Pokemon evolved through
Yeah.
friendship.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's like there are some really cool action sequences in here that I enjoyed. But in the same breath, the one thing that I do think that is a detriment to this movie, and I'm not sure how everybody else feels about it, there's no Pokemon battles in this movie. Not really.
I think it's because they're trying to stay true to the
Mantine and Pinsir
I also
was an epic fight.
at least Kyogre got the finishing blow, but I also
Yeah.
feel like Kyogre just showed up and I was like, okay, cool.
I think it's because they're trying to stay true to the Ranger games, because there's technically no Pokemon battles.
Yeah, you don't battle like you capture the enemies, you capture them and use them for a little bit, use them to break barriers and whatever. Fly.
You have like tasks and
Yeah.
little missions you do.
I honestly would have been fine with a Ranger movie with just Jackie.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it just feels like these two ideas don't mesh.
I feel
like
like his
the first one,
character was just a plot device, so that Ash and May can, like, basically he was a means to an end.
He was a way to get the egg to Ash and Man.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
So
like,
if
you never hear about Rangers again.
if we go to vote, starting from the bottom,
Now we're here. Sorry,
does anyone think this movie goes below Mewtwo Returns?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, I only said it goes below.
But I also vote for being involved, though.
If we're going by the logic of would you watch this or
I was just
this,
gonna make that
I would
comment.
100% watch Mewtwo Returns.
I was
over
just
this.
gonna make that argument. If
Really?
Because
It's
this
50
one,
minutes.
Because
this is 4 hours.
Because this one
It's
legitimately
not fun.
felt like there was just like a lot of it was just long and drawn out, and I was I was watching it, think of everything else I could have been doing, and I'm like, I really don't want to. I want to skip this one.
I had a violent reaction to Mewtwo Returns. I would rather watch this.
Yeah,
I had a violent screaming reaction.
I
to
was
Mewtwo
like,
Returns.
I can't even lie, dog.
Lengthwise and sequence-wise, I would rather watch Me Too.
I
would rather torture myself for 50 minutes than for an hour and 45.
If I'm not considering length of the things, because the unfortunate thing is we're rating Mewtwo as a movie when it wasn't. But even still, if I throw length out the window, Manaphy is way better in my opinion than Mewtwo Returns.
Yeah.
Because it was a special. So we're as a meme. Is it on there because of a meme, or is it like
it's on there because John said it makes forever a better movie.
We are considering it as a movie for our podcast.
I merged it into another movie that never existed.
All right.
Yeah, because that's where I'm having trouble. I'm like, because it's a special, I just would rather.
For this, we
watch
have to
that.
consider it as a movie.
Okay,
So
then,
let's-
I feel pretty good.
Let's go with it. Just with raise of hands, is it better than Mewtwo Returns? Okay, so it's still majority, much you guys hate it.
Yeah.
Is it go above Pokemon 2000? Perfect. All right. New list, starting from the bottom, we have number 10, Pokemon Mewtwo Returns. Number 9, Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea. Number 8, Pokemon 2000. Number 7, Pokemon Forever. Number 6, Pokemon Jirachi Bitchmaker. Number 5, Pokemon Lucario, The Mystery of Mew. I said Mewtwo, Mystery something, whatever. Number 4, Pokemon 3, Spell the Unknown. Number 3, Pokemon Heroes. Number 2, Pokemon the First Movie. And number 1, Pokemon Destiny Deoxys. Look at that list. You know what? I get it. I understand.
I'm just gonna let you know right now. Next movie is gonna.
Danny's
be
going
number
through the
one.
creep
I
cycle.
think so.
Yeah. I'm just gonna put my vote right now. Next movie is gonna be number 1.
I think
all
from-
of Danny's favorite movies are at the bottom.
Kind of. Listen, I wouldn't say Manaphy's my favorite movie. I think it just has.
You enjoyed it more than most.
It has one of my favorite legendaries in it, and I did say it should go above Jirachi. So if we kept voting and it stayed, my hand would have been up until we got to Lucario. Because again, I think this is just better Jirachi Wish. It's longer Jirachi Wishmaker, but I think it's better Jirachi Wishmaker. IMO. The longer doesn't help, but I think it's better than Jirachi. I don't think it's better than Lucario. But I digress. Poll challenge. Every week we vote on our favorite Pokemans of this movie. Each one of us picks a Pokemon. It goes into the CGDannyB community Discord. You guys get to vote and pick our favorites. Last week, I think I already announced this in the last one, but I didn't talk about it. No, wait. They haven't. No one's voted in
For the
Lucario yet. Go to Discord now and vote for Lucario. Pick, who did I pick? Pick Regirock.
Wouldn't it already be over?
It would actually already be over. Hey,
Yeah.
never mind. Go for this one. Fucking hell, this is hard when you record ahead of time. Doesn't matter. John, you get to pick first this week.
Beedra.
Who?
Beedra.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I didn't want to pick any of the water
I
types.
I
respect
understand.
Mafia,
I like
Mafia
Beedrill, too.
Beedrill.
John picked Beedrill. Okay. Well,
Al Capone Beedra.
perfect, because then I'm safe. Easily, Kyogre's mine. Kyogre. Perfect. Dante.
Wailord.
Okay, I see you, dog. I see you, dog.
Everybody's gonna think I took Dante's approach to this week. At the very fucking beginning, when the egg is floating,
Oh.
there's a fucking quillfish that just tries to eat that motherfucker, and that quillfish is my pick.
Okay.
Because that quillfish could have saved me from almost 2 hours of this shit. That quillfish was like, and then it just fucking
He was trying to
shot
save
away.
you.
He was trying to eat. Yeah,
He's trying to end the movie.
That quillfish was like, yo.
Then Quillfish would have been the prince of the sea. It would have been a much more entertaining movie.
So then mine is very easy, very simple, straightforward. He was in there for like 2 seconds. If you blinked, you missed him. Kingdra.
Yep.
I
He was
saw
already typing it.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw the horsey, I saw the Seadra, I was like, do Kingdra, so I know Chris is picked. Kingdra. Okay.
Imagine it was just
He
you,
got
Seadra.
booped. He
Because
got
I
booped
saw
on the
him move, and I was like, wait a minute. So I clicked back, and I was like, all right, I have my pick.
There it is.
There it is.
You did the thing I
I
did
don't know
with
why.
Arcanine.
I just fucking noticed this. I'm gonna look an idiot on camera when people are seeing me like. I just realized Beast was a Gen 4 Pokemon, and at the beginning of the movie, I'm like, why the fucking? Because I have the Gen 3 Pokedex memorized, and I'm
Yeah.
like going like,
Where's Weasel?
I'm like Trico Krupa, and I'm like, there's a big portion of this where I'm like, and I'm like running, I'm like, oh wow. And then I just fucking realized this. I'm like, this motherfucker was
Yeah.
Gen 4. That's why I haven't been able to. This whole time I've been like.
Weasel or Manaphy?
Weasel.
Okay.
Well, both, but.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
But even going back and thinking, like, at the time, I would have noticed that Weasel was a late, like, he's here before he should be.
Yeah.
Just like we would have with Don Fan, we would have with Munchlax.
Yeah.
Plus, not Pulse of Mine, but. And then as we get into the Gen 4 movie, we'll probably see something, and I won't think about it as a Gen 5 Pokemon, but it will be one.
That's what happened here. This whole time, I'm like, huh. Because the design for Beasel, or the design for Gen 4 and Gen 5, or Gen 3, it drastically changed the style. And then I'm like, why does he look like a Gen 4? And this whole time in my mind, I'm like going through each fucking Pokemon in Gen 3, and I'm like, who am I missing?
Yeah.
And I ended up replacing something from Gen 3. I'm like, oh, I guess Beasel. No, he fucking evolves. So I'm like running it the whole time. And on camera, you're going to see me going like,
I don't get it.
So
Yeah,
you're-
when I say quillfish, all I see is John going,
yeah, that's when it started. He started talking about quillfish, and I was like, because in my mind I was like, Ash caught a quillfish, but why would he have a Beasel too? That makes no sense. It's the same gen. So I'm like, and you're gonna see it on the camera. I'm like,
yeah. It's just the math across his face.
Because it was like a weird fun fact thing. Because I pointed out to Danny the when they made the Diamond and Pearl joke. So when Meowth made that sounds like an interesting name for games. I paused it and then I was talking with Danny and then like I went to check the timestamps. The movie came out in July, the same year that Diamond and Pearl came out in September in Japan. So they hinted at the games. Were they announced by then? I don't know.
I would have
saw
to
that with
imagine,
Pokemon,
because if they
but-
came out that close to each other, I feel like we would have known Diamond and Pearl was coming.
well, Diamond and Pearl. We knew Diamond and Pearl was coming.
Right.
by the
We
time
just
we
didn't,
watched it.
yeah.
We
So
didn't
that's
know
where
the Pokemon in it. So this would have been the first time Beasel was ever shown.
Right.
it probably just would have been really fun to not know, and someone goes to watch this movie after we find out that it's Diamond and Pearl, and they're like, oh, they told us. We already knew. But
We probably got this movie, what?
2007.
It's called
9
player
months to a
knowledge.
year after.
2007.
yeah, we all
We
left
have
later.
player knowledge. That's why we.
Yeah. Anywho, let's wrap this all up. One more time for the poll challenge. John with Beedrill, Danny with Kyogre, Dante with Wailord, Kenai with Quillfish, and Chris with Kingdra. I just love seeing Waters, and then he's like, I picked a bug.
John's naturally drawn to pirates. He's the
Understandable.
pirate with the bug.
Why'd you pick?
Obviously, you know
I
one of
won't
those.
even lie.
almost picked
Yes.
Pikachu for this one.
Yeah?
Because there wasn't that many good choices. And I was like, alright, Pikachu.
You were gonna wait. Pikachu did nothing in
That's
this
what I was
movie.
like, yeah, Pikachu had one baller moment, and it was like,
Oh, he used Volt Tackle once.
yeah.
He used
one
Volt
baller
Tackle in this movie? When did that happen?
Dude, it was when Phantom was doing that thing where he was chasing Jackie when he had like the rag covering his hands. There was somebody. I think they were chasing Jackie, and he goes, "Pikachu, use Volt Tackle!" And Pikachu
And I was like,
fucking
oh
takes
yeah,
off.
this is when that's the only move Pikachu uses.
Yeah.
Because for like an entire season, every response Ash has is Volt Tackle! or
Not to
Iron
Electro
Tail.
Web.
Iron Tail's the one that he spams.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Really expected Dante to pick Chatot. I really did.
I just don't like Chatot.
Damn.
It's the same thing with Mantine.
Yeah.
Both of those Mantike, both of those two Pokemon are what I would choose to be the meme ones. But my dislike, it's not necessarily hatred, but I don't care for those Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I have no business. And
Guys,
then
can we trust
at least the Wailord made me smile, and I was like, yeah. Wailord.
All right.
For next episode, can we dress out like in suits? If we're gonna review the greatest Pokemon movie ever.
I mean, I could. I don't have the suit. Maybe
Yeah,
I
a
could.
tie. Can you bring a tie?
We
Yeah, probably.
just have a
You
tie
guys
and
like
we're
dress
casual
up.
attire.
Don't go
Dressing
too
nice.
hard, but
Okay.
let's dress to impress. You know.
I'll watch the movie first.
I'm gonna rent a
and I'll-
tux for next week.
I'll decide what I'm wearing based off of how good I think the movie is.
Or I'm just
Speaking
gonna
of next
go
week,
to the house.
let's wrap this shit up. We're about to hit 2 hours.
Just gonna
Guys,
come in naked because he
thank
doesn't
you so much for watching this episode of Pokemon Gotta Watch 'Em All. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up. It helps spread the video so more of you Poke nerds get to see it. And make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can come back next week and watch the next episode, which is Pokemon Rise of Darkrai, the one that has the most potential to dethrone the ultimate Pokemon movie, Destiny Deoxys, agreed upon by the entire table. Everyone agrees. Best Pokemon movie until Darkrai. We'll see. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Oopa. Same voice, same air.
I'll be pissed if Hoopa's number one.
Kaiju.
Based off of what I'm hearing right now.
I don't think it'll be.
Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.